Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to change the right photo to another show of Worth a Damn Gaming. How we all doing? My name is Jake Starvik, as usual, your host here on the show. And we've got, as per usual, StreetRat Atlas. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Hello, everyone. I'm feeling good.
Why is that?
I have watched the credits roll in Pokemon Pokepia.
Really? I didn't
Yep.
think that was a possibility for you. Shit.
No,
Is
the
there
game
still
now opens up.
Okay, so there is still more to do.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The game kind of just gives you one final thing and goes, awesome, have fun. There's still quests that I need to do with specific Pokemon that want things. I've got still all the Pokemon to find, all the habitats, crafting recipes, cooking recipes. Then I've got the RNG of the Dream Islands to find specific Pokemon there and all of this stuff. So there's still so much for me to achieve.
Okay.
But the core story, done and dusted.
Nice. Was it good?
Really
Were you happy with it?
Boy. Yeah. I shed a tear because I thought it was really beautiful. Really beautiful game.
Nice.
The story just tied up really nicely with what occurs. And the Pokemon kind of realize, let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's do this, because if the humans ever return, they can see how much we've worked to rebuild everything.
That's kind of cool.
Fuck yes. I love this.
That's awesome.
It was really good. But I had my dad's birthday lunch today, so we went to an Italian place close by to us.
Very
we
nice.
all live so close. Oh boy, the food was incredible. I could have easily had a second plate. So I had a baked vodka gnocchi. Oh my god, it was incredible.
I love gnocchi. Gnocchi is just such a wonderful thing to eat. I've never been a big fan of the tomato-based sauces. I typically kind of go for more of the mushroom or the creamy type for it, but overall, I don't know. There's tomato-based sauces are such a hit and miss for me at restaurants because they seem to always use, and I get why it's a quick and easy thing, but they use the canned stuff, and for some reason, the acidity of it just doesn't agree with me.
Yeah.
So it's a personal thing more than anything.
I'll send you where we went for lunch. I think you would enjoy the red base sauce because it is an authentic Italian restaurant.
Nice.
Not any of the canned shit. During lunch, they have a special $35 pasta and you get a glass of wine. And all of us were like, yes, please. Absolutely. And free tiramisu for dessert.
Nice.
And we're like, oh, okay. I didn't have it because I'm not a huge fan of tiramisu. I've been scarred too many times, but I learnt my mistake. I had some, and holy shit, it was actually solid. I had caramel profiteroles. As soon as I got home. So profiteroles are a kind of a puff ball of pastry. It's quite bready, and they cut it in half and they just filled it with this caramel mousse that wasn't very rich or anything. It was quite light, and then they drizzled salted caramel on top.
Nice. Oh man, fucking caramel's awesome.
Yeah,
making me salivate. Oof.
Well,
tasty.
As soon as I got home, I was like, I'm going to have a nap. I think I slept for 2 hours.
Jesus, good job. Well done.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me. It was
a
really good lunch.
So you had a proper food coma.
Yep.
Nice. Well, no complaints there. As far as I'm concerned, that's probably a good thing.
That was pretty much my day last night and today, which,
Nice.
I mean, not to bore everyone, but work's a fucking joke. So
I mean, I feel
I'm
like
trying
most
to
people feel like
distract.
that at this point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to distract from that because it's been quite horrendous.
What are the struggles you're having? Like, is it just boring and monotonous? Are you just not liking the
It's a
culture,
whole
the
mix of
community?
few things.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it quite boring, and my skills have just plateaued. It's just so boring for me. And I'm not a people person, but of course, I'm doing a job that is very
Wait,
people focused.
what? You are a people person. Come on. I think it's just the type of people you have to deal with. That's the biggest thing.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. But we are currently really understaffed at work. So there's not a lot of the normal routine of doing the job right.
yep.
And I'm really good at my job. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And the corporation has unfortunately made decisions on our behalf of what is a priority. And it's really fucked us over because we can't get our normal day-to-day job done because this online system is a priority because of the data, the statistics. You know, we need to see this as a priority. And it's like, but that's not what we use. It's a tool for us and we'll use it.
Yeah.
But if you want us to not focus on phone calls, and we're quite busy with phone calls, don't worry about emails. Well, then how are we going to communicate with people like that? Okay. And just focusing on this online system. One of my friends told me, because I closed on Thursday and I was opening on Friday. So from 5:30 through to 7, couldn't do any of my other work because our manager was crying, saying, you know, it's really stressful. We need to get this done. I'm like, I don't give a shit. This isn't something that we need to bend our will to.
Yeah.
I also don't have any sympathy for this manager, unfortunately. She's a mean girl, and she was really quite a bully, high school bully to me when I first started. And I was like, no, you don't have my sympathy for this. You've treated me shit. I don't care that you're crying. That's on you.
Yeah,
If you
fair
feel
enough.
this emotion, not that I'm saying that you can't feel that emotion. I'm not going to sympathize for it. And then on Friday, yesterday, in the morning, got in, there was an email that was sent out to all of us saying this is what our plan is for today. It needs to be done because head office is really coming down on us. And I was like,
Jesus.
If head office is so concerned, they can fucking do it instead of spending the company's money on going on golf trips and having lunches together. They can do the work because that's what corporations do. They're good at telling you how to do your job without knowing how to do your job.
Without considering the fact that, yes, things start from the ground floor. Maybe stop and think how other people feel while you're, being paid a fucking pretty penny for what you're doing.
Correct. And relying on staff that we're not retaining a lot of staff. So I don't want to oust the company because it's against my contract, but this company that I work for has a really bad reputation. And no one is applying. because of this reputation. So this company is now expecting all its staff to do the job of at least 3 people, which is not viable. In the role that I'm in, we've had a lot of staff leave due to maternity, a lot of people hitting their long service leave. So a lot of them are either not coming back and they're seeking other employment, or they're just enjoying their time off with their new chapter in life.
Yeah.
But the expectation of what we need to do has now far exceeded the amount of people that we've got staffed. And it's just disgusting, because our management team's like, yes, we hear you, we understand. Clearly you don't fucking understand.
Do you?
So we have come up with a plan at where I work where we're going to file our riskware to psychological damage, workload,
Ooh, right.
just so then we can get the attention of management, because we want their attention.
Yeah.
And we need something done. So that has been my week at work, which I fucking love.
Yeah, fair enough.
So distraction from that has been playing poker pier.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing
Yeah.
fucking wrong with that.
Because at least the Pokemon tell me that they love me. And give me
They love me. I just want to be loved by you.
So,
oh god,
yeah.
that's funny.
And other games that I've been playing, I've started Mass Effect, which we've had a chat about.
Now, have you gotten any
Wednesday.
further into it, or have you just done what you've done?
Just done what I've done. So as soon as you jumped into a call, that's pretty much like where I ended. So hitting the Citadel.
Yeah.
I was going to do a stream yesterday, but I just couldn't be fucked. But that was... So I need to work out a new schedule. Because I want to do Mass Effect as my long play series, but I want to do small streams in between of playing Poker Pier and doing builds.
Yep.
And focusing on, okay, well, this stream, I've got some little areas that I've kind of marked off in one of the maps, the tutorial area. So I want to build a large tree in one area. So I've started the roots of that. I've got elevators set up. I've started working on a little metro. So that's another project that I want to do. I want to build like a furnace area for my fire Pokemon so I can start getting my automation happening so I can get my farms going. So I want to work out... I really, truly need a new job that has a bit more consistency and routine. Yeah. Because my job either requires me to start at 6:30, finish at 2:30, or it's a 12:30 start and finish at 8:30.
Oh,
it's not a fun job.
Yeah, right. Why don't they have a consistency? Is it just because of how little staff they've got?
No, that's just a rotating roster, because one department is their moneymaker. Yeah. Starts at 6:30 and finishes at 8:30.
Right. That sucks. That does suck.
So I'm trying to find a routine so that I can do a bit more, a few more streams, because I really want to start, especially that I finished Poker Pier and unlocked, I guess I can just say it, I've unlocked the final ability.
Yep.
That the game gives you.
I'm assuming that just kind of allows you to traverse anywhere in the world type of deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And in a way, so it's spoilers for anyone that's watching and doesn't really want to know. But you turn into a Magnemite called, and your ability is called Magnet Rise. So you can fly. indefinitely.
Mm.
Up, down, left, right. It allows you to place blocks 1, 4, or 9 at a time. So you can build much more quickly. You can pick up items, you can eat items, you can destroy blocks. So the game just goes, all right, you've worked this hard, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of waiting to get that ability before I started focusing on doing my own man-made style buildings.
Okay.
Because I've just been placing a lot of prefabs and not building a house myself. Granted, I'm still going to use prefabs, but now I'm going to design the habitat that the prefab will live in.
Yep.
So that the tree will be all the bird Pokemon in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have the metro that I'm trying to dig out and place all the cement and, the style. It's going to be so much fucking quicker. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It is going to save so much time. So my idea is that now that I'm at that point, and I'm not even going near Pallet Town, which I've called Pluto, because that area is huge. They truly go, here, this is your sandbox, have fun.
Yep.
And I look at it and I'm like, I just need to focus on a small map just so then I don't feel so fucking overwhelmed. But I'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
But at this moment, I'm just let's just do up some of the areas in each of the towns. Right now, I'm just focusing on the first town. Do that, then I'll go to the beach one and maybe work on maybe a bathhouse. I don't fucking know. This game it truly is the Minecraft of what do you want to do? Do it. It's so good. So I need to figure out, well, firstly, getting a new job, which I've been trying for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Which
that
is
sorted
tough.
so I can have a consistency. Well, in Australia, unemployment has reached a 4.6, so the highest it's been. I think even COVID wise.
It's pretty bad here.
It's a joke. So then I can get more of a consistency in streaming. So then I can do a continuation of Mass Effect, because so far I was pleasantly surprised at how much I was enjoying it.
Surprise!
Than I did the previous times.
Yep.
Because when I first played it, I was like, ugh, this game, I don't get it. It's so clunky and tanky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. But then when I was streaming it, I was like, okay, I'm kind of falling into it. Yep. And then once I finished the tutorial and got to the Citadel, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a charming adventure.
This is working. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah. How have you been?
How have I been? So today we celebrated Kate's birthday. So we went out, had some lunch with her family, which was nice. It was nice and chill. Oh, you forgot to send it. Who's in trouble? It's all right. It's still before 12, so you've got a few more hours. So we did that. I gave her her present yesterday, which was a James Bond figure, the Daniel Craig hot toy. They've got two. She's getting another one that she's ordered, which is him in his suit, like he's very classical kind of James Bond suit outfit. But this one was him in like a military outfit. So it's him kind of worn out. He's got some guns and attachments and all this other stuff. I did accidentally break the M16 that it comes with. I was the plastic was flimsy. So I'm there and she's asked me to do it. I said like she's struggling to kind of get it into the grips. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. That's fine. So I'm like trying to bend it, not so much bend, but like get his arm with the gun into the actual holster. And I accidentally just bent it a little bit too quickly. and it snapped. I'm like, wow, that was fucking flimsy, because usually they're pretty firm plastic. So quickly glued it on. That was all fine. But I was like, man, I got to be mindful now. If they're kind of using this cheap plastic for the hot toys, then yeah, I got to be careful with it. Because most of the other stuff that I've got from the Batmans and the Crow and other things, they're a little bit more, they feel firmer
Yep.
for the most part. But other than that, like that was kind of today, nice and chill. Yeah. So work's been good. I'm slowly getting into the routine. I'm spending a lot of time with one of the guys. His name's Ricky. Lovely dude. He's got a love and appreciation for video games. He's been going through the Resident Evil series for the first time, so he's telling me all about that and enjoying it. He's a little bit of an anime fan and loves his movies as well, so we get along like a house on fire. So that's all great.
Nice.
Work is really
cut out. What series is he getting into?
So he's been thinking about trying to start, what was it called? Jitsu Kaisen, I think it is. He's talked about One Piece, but then went, no, that's too much of a show. I'm not doing 1,000 episodes. I'm sorry, just not doing it. So he's kind of like me. He prefers short form content. He doesn't like something that's 400, 600 episodes. He likes something that's more like a mini series. I'm like, yep, cool, completely understand. I'm in the same boat as you. I've got a friend, yourself, who loves those kind of long form series, and that's great. No issues. Just not for us. So yeah, that's been all fine and dandy. Work's been good. No issues there. Boss is lovely. The culture is great. I'm starting to get a bit of a handle and an understanding of just some of the minutia within the culture itself and a little bit of history, which has been fun and revealing. It's kind of like revealing some of the curtain and some of the politics of it, which is always good to know. But overall, it's not too bad. I gotta admit, it's going to be a relatively, like, I'm sure there's gonna be some crazy days and some crazy weeks, but it seems like it's the kind of job that when it gets quiet, it's fucking dead. And it's usually around that Christmas time where the boss goes, well, I'm going out, so you guys have fun. Just look after the store. You know exactly what to do. He trusts his team to do exactly what they need to do. So he's not on anyone's back. There's no real heavy expectation of, what are you doing standing around doing nothing? Like, he's happy. If you're doing your job and you want to take like a little $5, you go outside, you chat for a bit, and then it's so liberating to be working for someone that just looks after his team, that understands that, hey, if I don't need to tell you what to do, go fucking, like, take a $5. Take 10 minutes. Have a chat with the customer. Go make yourself a coffee. You know, if you want to take a lunch break now or later, whatever it is, just take your time, slow things down. Don't rush. Make sure you get shit done right. If you're not sure, ask. And
you're an adult. You
that's
know how to do your job.
This is what's so bizarre. From the first week I started, like, I've got my own desk, I've got my own email, I have my own kind of responsibilities, but at the same time, I am able to ask anyone to assist me or help me, or if I need to handball something, I can, if someone else can do the job quicker, better, more efficiently. And we just work within what our strengths and limits are. And it's just, no one kind of feels like, well, if you can't do this, why are you here? No, it's more of a, okay, well, what do you need me to help you with so that you can do this more efficiently, and then you can do it on your own, and then you're more confident that way. If it takes you 1 time or 2 times or 10 times or 20 times, as long as you get it and you understand it, then I know that I can trust you to do that. And I don't need to keep babysitting you, or I don't need to take that job off you. So it's very liberating, and it's just nice to feel, like you said, nice to feel like an adult. and nice to be treated like one, which
Yeah.
I love. It's so fucking good. And the customer basis is so different. I am like, I swear, but not to the level of most of my work colleagues or even a lot of the customers. Like the customers that are walking in, I am still like, okay, this is a completely different culture. People are swearing left, right, and center. They swear more than most people I would ever kind of encounter. And
Fuck yeah.
yeah, it's really, it is, again, it's liberating. I'm probably not going to go to that extent. I would like not to, but I can see how easy it is when you're like my boss, Tony, is phenomenal. And he'll swear when something just, oh, fucking hell, I can't believe that screwed up. Or like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on. This is what you need to do. Here we go. And it's not like this berating. He doesn't make you feel like a piece of shit. He's just it's like a slap across the back in a very kind of friendly way. Like, oi, hey, pay attention. What are you doing? Like we had a bit of a fuck up because he left the store early because he finishes at like 3:30. So it was me and Ricky at the end. We're chatting for a bit. We did a couple of little finalized jobs. And then we close up, but I'd forgotten about some gas canisters that were left outside. So we've gone in. Ricky's forgotten his password and the alarm's gone off. So we're calling Tony and Tony's like, they're empty gas canisters. Why didn't you just leave them outside? Ricky's like, fuck, I didn't think about that. But, I've grabbed them anyway with the forklift quickly, parked them in, and then I forgot to dump the tines down because when you finish with the forklift, you're kind of meant to leave the tines on the floor so that no one trips over them. I know that I'm going to walk in on Monday and the boss is going to be like, oi, what the fuck? In like a really just remember when you park it, make sure you park it with the tines down. So he's going to tell me off for that, which is fine. I will take that on the chin. Yeah. So, but again, it's not like hey, we're going to have to do a performance review because what the hell are you doing? It's just, next time, don't do that. So, yeah. So that's been good. Game-wise, I haven't... Oh, fuck. It's been such a tough week just with when I finish work, getting home, there's been some editing and stuff. And Piper's being a little bit hunky-dory a few nights here and there. So I've gotten to finish, as you know, Lies of P. So I finalized that finally. That's all fucking done, which is great. I gotta admit,
I said it, and it's on the internet. I said to you that you would finish it in such a quick manner, especially after finishing Luxasia and then you ending the stream shortly after. I was like, mate, no worries. You will finish this game so quickly.
Yeah.
It does not take that long, especially with the types of boss battles.
Yeah.
Compared to the DLC is such a Bloodborne game DLC where it's like, okay, we're going to challenge you now.
Yeah.
The base game, no issues. I enjoyed it.
It is like, I understand now why someone like Jason turned around and said, dude, you really should be finishing the game and then going and doing the DLC. I understand that now in retrospect. But it's just very weird for me because usually it's always been relatively balanced with most of the Souls games to go do the base game. And to be fair, I have always kind of gone all the way to the end per se, because that's usually where they introduce the DLC. But I've always kind of gone through the game, and then when the DLC opens up, I go, okay, well, I'll do the DLC. If it's available, I'll do the DLC, finish that, then go back into the base game and finish off that. And so usually it's been relatively balanced in that sense, but this was on another level. And it was clearly designed for people that had probably played Lies of P multiple times and had been so familiar with the systems that suddenly the DLC was, all right, we're going to ramp it up for those people that have spent a lot of time playing this, as opposed to feeling like a more organic, here's some extra content with, some challenging bosses that kind of feel like they tag off the existing content. if that makes sense.
Mm.
But yeah, it's done. I'm glad that I finished it. I must admit the ending of the base game was actually really good. It was a lovely conclusion. It was very heartfelt. It does make me excited for the sequel to see what they do, how they kind of further develop it. But if I do replay the original, it's probably going to be on a base difficulty. I'm not, or like a lower difficulty. I'm not going to be bothered fucking around trying to learn those systems again. And I might find if I pick a different class of sword, I think I was telling you this on Wednesday, just changing the weapon made it's like a slight difference, but it made enough of a difference where my blocks suddenly felt more consistent and I was pulling them off. And
I told you that monad sword,
it's ridiculous.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And it was nice for me because I was already kind of speccing my character into a mix between your strength and dex, or motivity and I forgot the other one.
Advance?
Yeah,
technique?
Whatever it's called. I think it's technique. I think it's motivity and technique or something else. So I was already speccing into both, doing more of a focus on the not agility. What's that called? Onto dex. I'll use the Dark Souls terminology because it's easier. But for whatever reason, the blocks were working much more efficiently and effectively with that sword. On top of the fact that it was a stronger weapon, except for we're going to increase how quickly it breaks. But overall, it just played perfectly for me all the way to the end. So I was happy with just the last couple of bits of the game. I was surprised. I was impressed how quickly I went through it. I was impressed that it only took me 2 goes to fight the very last boss. That's what shocked me because I was expecting, all right, this guy's going to be a fuckwit. And I knew that I was going to have a bit of an advantage due to my leveling up from the DLC, but I didn't think I was going to have that much of an advantage. So, but it goes to show the level of depth that the DLC bosses have compared to what you have in the base game. So, yeah.
Yep. I really think that you choosing a different weapon, I get that there was some stubbornness.
Oh yeah,
I think we can all
absolutely.
admit that.
I'm not going to deny this,
But I'm
StreetRat.
glad that you were comfortable with choosing a different weapon and kind of allowing the game to give you that option. Even though you were already building into that class,
Yep.
just being able to respec, being able to choose, okay, well, let me make my own weapon and let me play with that. Let me, we both use the monad sword. I think that weapon was probably the best. Probably, okay, I'm sure someone's done a deep dive and has said, oh, this weapon's technically the best. Sure, whatever. But
oh, don't start now.
Having a boss weapon, it always has the lower durability because of how much DPS it's being able to output.
Yes.
And that's fine because the game gives you those, you can upgrade your grindstone so you can grind much quicker. You've got Geppetto's quick kit so you can instantly recharge it. So the game just does, I think it's one of the best games in a third party outside of FromSoft that has taken that genre and done such a phenomenal job with it. Because they went, we are going to add so much quality of life so that if you want, fuck it. You don't want the P organ that you've done? No worries. Respec it. You'll get all your quartz back. focus on something else. You don't like the skills that you put in? Fine, no issues. I love that. And I love that you allowed some of that to bleed into your ending.
Yep.
That a question that I have, are you going to do New Game Plus on easy mode? Or
I
are you
have
going to start completely fresh?
Yeah, I've thought about that. I might consider it since I've already got everything, and then I can just. I mean, it would make sense because then I can theoretically get any of the other weapons and other items and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that might be a possibility. That might be a way to go about it. Yeah, look, the stubbornness, 100%. 100% I was being stubborn. The stubbornness really does come down to the fact that I was wanting... you know what it is? I was waiting for a weapon that I knew was scaled to both the strength and dex stat. And I hadn't really come across a boss weapon up until that point. Because most of them were either, this is just for strength, or this is just for dex. And so I was like, well, I've already got a semi-dex weapon. I don't really need another because I've got the what was it? The Zhangji sword or the fucking the stick with the
Guan Yu.
Guan Yu, that's it. Fucking hell. The what is that from? That series? God damn it. Dynasty Warrior. It's the Dynasty Warrior weapon.
Because it's a collab weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I had that kind of let me start over. Yeah, I'm going blank here. Jesus Christ. No, so it just didn't feel like there was anything worth me exploring from playing with other weapons. I tried playing with some of the different handles when I figured out that, oh, okay, I understand what the handles do. They change the tertiary abilities. So I figured out that, say, the blade that I actually had an ability that used one Fable art to make me stronger, or I would have the kind of ultimate attack type of deal. But the extra damage was so negligible that using a single Fable art for that amount of damage was like, well, what the fuck for? And I know that you can level that up. I know you can strengthen that. But it just, for me, it wasn't really worth the gems to level that up. So I just never really bothered. And then, again, most of the other weapons that I came across really didn't have the stat scaling that I needed, that I was looking for. So I was like, well, okay, fuck it. I'm not going to worry about the minutia of all of that, and I'll just stick with what I've got because it's working for me, and that's fine. Yeah. Until, obviously, I got the one from the DLC, and I went, oh, that's BB? Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. This is now replacing mine, which was CC. Done. Like, I've now got the improved version of what I've got. I will upgrade that because I have been saving my resources for, theoretically, a better weapon. I found a better weapon. All right, we'll change. And it had a very similar combat style anyway to what I was using, so it just kind of worked out in that sense.
Which also has lore behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get into the lore side of the equation, but yeah.
It's exciting to see because I was going to bring it up in our podcast part, but Liza P sold 4 million copies as of recently.
That. Yeah.
And that got me thinking, as a celebratory kind of milestone for them, are they going to showcase something and just say, look, this is what we've got, a little teaser trailer, just a little something, and then maybe not a teaser trailer, but just an announcement trailer, something small that 30 seconds. Here's what we want to show you, what we're working on. And then maybe end of year at the TGA, we'll show you a 2-minute trailer of what we've really been working on.
Yeah.
Which I'm really proud of, that this studio has come in, I think, really strong, especially from what I call the oh my God. What's the word?
What are you trying to say, boy?
Masochist community.
Yeah,
because if you're gonna play a FromSoft game, it's pretty masochist. Like, you're gonna fucking die. It's the type of game that you are not meant to win every fight the first time.
No,
and that's great.
Yep, that is.
It's teaching you about patience, because a lot of games these days are very handholdy. It's like, it's okay. If you die too many times, the AI of the game will lower the difficulty so you have an easier time. Okay, thanks.
I mean, to be fair, that is how a lot of Resident Evil games typically function. So, yeah.
Oh, is there too many enemies and you keep dying in this part? No worries, we'll reduce the enemy count.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. You could just, I don't know, have the game already set to a specific number of no worries, that's fine, whatever. But I'm really proud of this studio to have such an impact and stand... me personally, I think they stand really high above with FromSoft in their game, because I think Lies of P is such a welcoming game that is so accessible to everyone. Having the difficulty sliders, having, once you finish the game, do you want to just fuck around and kill the bosses? Because there have been times where I've played Bloodborne. I still haven't finished Dark Souls 3 because I'm still up to the princes. Fuck them. But there's some boss fights that I would love to go back to and just play, because I had a really fun time.
Yeah.
The weapons in Lies of P, just it's a game within itself. What do you want to build? Do you want to put this sword head on this staff, so then you've got a really long weapon that has a really cool fable art?
It is almost a shame that they don't allow you to mix and match the boss handles with other weapons, because that, like, if you've already got that tool in the game, why are you not giving that flexibility across the board? Because now you've already unlocked the boss weapon. Just give me the ability to play with those abilities for the other. But maybe there's, like, I think the big part is the moveset, because some of the movesets probably might not work from an animation standpoint with the sword, or it might not make sense. I don't know. But it would be nice. It would be nice if they kind of went that extra mile and went, you know what? You've unlocked the boss sword. Awesome. If you like the ability, but you don't care for the weapon, use the handle, pop it in the weapon that you like. That way you are now infused with that boss's abilities, which is cool.
Yep.
That would be cool, but they don't.
Maybe that's something that they'll explore in the sequel.
Maybe. No, what I was going to say in relation to the 4 million, it's successful. So in the back of my head, I thought, 4 million? That doesn't sound like a lot. Let's see what Lords of the Fallen did, because I swear Lords probably did more. But you're right. This is the next biggest Souls-like, because Lords have only done, even though it's a really great game and it's gotten a sequel and it's been successful, that studio has only just announced, I think it's 2.5 million, which is a lot, but it's
huge.
It's not Lies of P4. It's just, so that in itself is a massive statement on the the love and affection that people have for this game. Despite my criticisms, despite my issues with it, I understand that for most people, the game is amazing, and provided you're not being stubborn and you don't care about that level of hardship and difficulty that I wanted to experience, you will probably have a fun time, you will enjoy the story, and you will think it's the greatest thing since a Dark Souls or an Elden Ring. So yeah, no, I think it's worth celebrating. I think it is definitely worth celebrating their success there, because at least we know that they're going to make a sequel. If they've made 4 million on this, imagine if they get even more right or do other things with it, how well they'll sell for the sequel. That's huge. That's massive, especially for the investors. They're like, go, what do you need? Let's get this done. Come on. Mm-hmm. So there will be a big push to get that sequel out as soon as they heavenly can. So in a good state, obviously. But no, as far as other stuff that I'm playing, I've got Kingdom Come Deliverance that I did a little bit this week. I did one quest just to kind of sink my teeth back into the game. And it was a very basic quest, which was essentially go and find... So I went off... Where I died last time, I essentially had to replay a section that I kind of completed. So I was like, okay, I'll go back, I'll redo the area that I had kind of done before I died. So I got back to where I initially went, spoke to the Swordmaster, had some training with him, but realized, okay, this bitch, unlike the original game where you can learn, I think it's Bernard or Bernard, the Swordmaster in the original game would allow you to just train with him until he gave you the Master Strike. In this game, they basically tell you, no, get fucked. You need a proper suit of armor. Come back to me when you're actually geared up, because I'm not teaching you shit unless you're actually ready for this. So they kind of gate you in a fun, interesting way, as opposed to just giving it to you a la carte. And I thought, that's cool. That's annoying, but that's cool. I can appreciate the fact that you're now forcing me to really sink my teeth into the systems and go out of my way and just start doing quests or start exploring. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. So I've gone in order to get some sleep and some rest, and also craft some schnapps, which is the quick save, because the game actually gives you the alchemy stuff early, which is nice. And as long as you have, which they give you the formula, they tell you exactly what you need in order to create it. It's technically the same as it was in the first one. You just have a few little nuances that they've added to alchemy, which is nice and easy. But I've gone back to this old hag that had rescued my character and Hans, and she's now got a request. She's asking you to find her daughter because her daughter's gone missing. She was meant to come back from the nearest town, and she hasn't. So you go to the nearest town, you inquire, you find out, oh, she was speaking to one of the farmers, the farmer? No, the woodcutter boys. Go speak to him. You go to one of the woodcutter houses, but there's another guy there, and you've spoken to him, and he's like, oh, yes, I'm looking for the woodcutter, but he's apparently disappeared with this girl. All right, well, do you know where he is? No, I'm assuming he's gone off with her, but I'm not 100% sure. You might have to try and break in just to find out. So you break into his house, which there are a couple of ways to do it, which I thought was really cool. Then you go back to the woodcutter, you speak to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, so he's probably gone down the river. So if you just go back to his place, there's a river section there that you can follow it down, and he should be in the woods. You go down, you follow the creek bed, go into the woods, you find the picnic that they were, hanging out with, and there's suspicions that he might have potentially left with her, but you're not 100% sure. You find his body. He's dead. Oh. And you're like, okay, well, now I'm investigating a murder, but where's the fucking girl? So you're now chatting to someone else who's looking for his pig, and the pig's just been eating out of the fucking body. So you've talked to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, I saw so-and-so just head back in. Go speak to, he's one of the farmhands. Go speak to him, and maybe he'll have an idea where the girl is. You speak to him, you find out that his mate and him were basically trying to scare off the girl because there's some history in relation to the town and the old lady, the daughter's mom, because she was a wet nurse. And you find out through this whole quest that essentially she was supposed to bring one of the Lord's children into the world. But unfortunately, through the pregnancy, the body came out, but the head didn't. And so so they tried to, obviously, she was explaining, they were trying to get the kid out safely. And unfortunately, it didn't. And so the kid died, and because of that, and this was the Lord's only son, so he was fucking pissed. And he just sent her off, even though the mother still needed to be cared for and looked after. Like, they hadn't finished everything, so she was left in a state where she had most likely a fucking head still in her vagina. She's like,
uterus,
sick. Yeah, well, just now there's the infection and everything else. So the mother dies. And because of this, the father obviously loses his shit and exiles the mother, and everyone basically turns against the mom, the old lady, and sends her off. So she's now exiled from the village, and no one kind of wants anything to do with her. So anyway, you find out from the farmhand after beating the shit out of him, which I died to him the first time. So, but luckily the game actually has a good checkpoint system, which is really nice. Okay. So I fought him the second time, beat the shit out of him, got him to speak about what the fuck happened, and that, a riot, like for something that they were supposed to scare off the girl, it turned into a bit of a fight with the woodcutter boy, and then his mate had beat the shit out of him. So they just left the body there, and he took the girl. Where's your friend? Okay, you go find the friend. He's basically holding a knife to the girl's throat, threatening to kill her. And you're there trying to convince him, just put it down. It's fine. You're not going to go to prison, but we do need to discuss what happened. So he puts the knife down. The girl just instantly grabs a weapon and just starts fucking shivving and killing him. And you're like, what the fuck did you do, you stupid bitch? Fuck! You take the girl home. The mom's basically now like, you know what? With everything that's happened, because these two kids are associated with that particular lord of the area. Mm-hmm. She's now asked you, well, if he's causing this much trouble, go and kill him. He has caused us trouble. I did nothing but try to help his fucking wife, even though he was a piece of shit and didn't even help in any of the whole process. And I did my best to bring this kid to term, and unfortunately things just didn't pan out the way I wanted. And then he told me to go away while I was still trying to care for the wife and make sure that she was well looked after. But you didn't want me to do that, so unfortunately, your wife is dead, and you still got rid of me, you son of a bitch. I want him dead. And so you kind of calm her down. You say, look, let me speak to him and see whether we can come to some agreement. So that's kind of where I've left it, because that in itself was like what I thought was going to be 20 minutes ended up being an hour and a half, because you're kind of like going here, going there, walking here, because I don't have a horse yet. I haven't actually gotten to the point in the game where I've gotten a horse. I know exactly where I need to go to kind of progress the main story and theoretically maybe lead up to getting my first pony. But until then, I'm walking around everywhere, which is a problem because now my shoes are wearing out. So all this walking, and now my shoes are basically zero durability. So I have to go all the way back to another town just so I can get the leather maker who can actually fix it, because the town I'm currently nearby doesn't have an expert that can sit there and fix it, and it costs more money to get like a little tailoring shoe repair kit. So that's where I'm at with that. And then I spent last night just getting a little bit of a dabble of Crimson Desert.
I was gonna ask.
Yes. It's not enough to really make any final judgment because
But what is your experience so far?
Well,
Because
we can
I've
talk
done the
about it
same
now.
experience.
Okay, so we can
Um,
talk about it now, or we can leave it for the main kind of show because I think it ties in with the general kind of discussion around people's opinions of the game.
Yeah, because
So,
I've written stuff as well for it. So I'm happy to talk about it for the podcast.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it for later.
Because I think that's going to be a big game to talk about. Because I've got a few other things that I want to talk about as well. But that one is like obviously the biggest game to have come out of the week. So that deserves
it's certainly gotten some mixed opinions, which we can go into. Because again, I've got very light exposure to it now, which is great. I'm grateful that I've gotten just a little bit of a taste, so I understand where people are coming from. But we'll save that for later. We'll do some Baldur's Gate now, which you've already loaded up, I saw. I'm just going to close.
I've also sent through the Twitch invite as well.
Cool. Give me a sec. I don't need to save that. So we'll do that. Where are you?
I also find it really funny that Crimson Desert released and then Steam's like, here's your spring sale.
Wait, did you say you sent me the... I don't see the... maybe it's on... my Twitch? Oh, there it is. Yep, 37 minutes ago. Yep. Notify followers. Okay, we can close that. We'll keep all of that. Goodies. And then we can leave that now. No, I do not want that saved. Boulders. You know what I do need to do, because I haven't done it yet, is delete Liza P.
I've still yet to do that. There's just something about it that I just...
No, it could go. Bye-bye.
I can't.
I have Crimson Desert. I gotta put that on. I need 170 gig or whatever the fuck it is.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I will say, it was on my laptop. I could feel the top of the keys heating. So it's a beastie little game, I must admit. Runs well, though. Like, I gotta admit, it... Apart from a weird... like, there was an LOD load from, like, characters in the camp at the early onset of the game. It's running really fucking great. So, but anyway, we'll get into all of that later.
All right, let's bring up my notes. So...
I'll start with... All right. No, I was just going to say... I know we talked about it on Wednesday, but just for this show, I just want to kind of go over the Nvidia thing, the DLSS 5.0.
Yes, that is something I did want to bring up as well.
All right, cool. So we'll start with that. So StreetRat and I did have a conversation about this on Wednesday about our thoughts. And essentially, for anyone that doesn't know, Nvidia kind of showcased their DLSS 5.0. Is that what it is? DLSS? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the whole internet has basically kind of been in a bit of a rage, and some of the artists within the game industry are kind of pulling Nvidia apart for the very blatant use of AI improvement and enhancements, even though Nvidia is turning around and saying, no, it's not doing that. It's just affecting the lighting. And as the developers, you have a choice on how much that is kind of tweaked and adjusted and changed. Yes, and you're right, Mace. Capcom didn't know about this.
A lot of the studios didn't know.
Few of the studios didn't know. What I find fascinating, which I only found out recently in the last 2 days, is when they did the tech demo, apparently they had one computer running off like a normal high-end computer with a 5090, and then to do the rendering itself, they had another 5090 doing the overlay rendering. Yeah. So it really puts into question, how plausible are you actually able to make this tech? Because if we're talking purely, and we were having this discussion on Wednesday, purely on an availability standpoint, this is not tech that's going to be available for anyone at this stage. Like having at least here in Australia, $5,000 to $6,000 just on a 5090, let alone the other $3,000 to $4,000 that you're spending on the rest of the tech. And then you're sitting there going, oh, well, maybe theoretically, if you want this kind of rendering, you need another 5090 on the side. What? Come on. It's crazy. It's fucking insane. And I mean, I was bringing it up that for me, it just feels like what the modding community typically offers, where, okay, like with Cyberpunk with GTA, you go off and you find modders who have up-resed various textures, lighting, God knows what, and then you obviously go through the process of putting these 20 or 30 various mods that play with lighting, play with textures, play various textures, play with all of these enhancements to make a game look as realistic as possible. Like, that tech exists. Those people in the community do that work. And the fact that now Nvidia is kind of taking that away from modders and just going, oh, we have a quick solution, but it's going to cost you a fucking arm and a leg just to do that kind of shit. It's insane. So, yeah. Anyway, do you have any extra thoughts that you want to add to that?
I personally don't like this movement. And it was always going to be a push in AI. They said this last year in their presentation. I've had my concerns that, sure, there is a limit that AI can help make a game run, sure. But when you are relying on AI, because it is incredibly noticeable when you're looking at the website and looking at how Resident Evil Requiem, and you're just seeing the main character just look somewhat like a video game character to an AI generated character. It just removes the whole need of a studio to develop anything. So I said this on Wednesday that at some point developers are going to say, well, I can just make a mannequin and the AI will just generate a character. There's no need. And I'm the type of person who's creative. I think that's fucking shit. You've just killed so many of the people in the industry for a graphics card that's just going to do the work.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
That's what I wanted.
It's not just lighting, though. It's so much more.
Do with your game now. You are clearly not giving a shit and doing it purely for your marketing. Yeah, it's shitty. It's shitty big business practice. Just super ultra realistic look. So, I mean, I said this last, all of that back end reference material that it can do this on the go. It's a game that I would never want this to fucking do anything to. Don't fucking touch it. It's a work of art on its own.
Risk of Rain. You're not going to have DLSS 5 on that. That game is made to look a certain way. Or Star Wars The Old Republic either, because it's more cartoonish.
And you're absolutely
Exactly.
right. Yep. Or Borderlands. Fuck, could you imagine it in Borderlands?
Ugh.
Like, that in itself would be just a bit of a fuck you. Like, don't get me wrong. It's impressive what they're doing and how they're accomplishing it. But the way they're going about it, that's the kind of shitty business practice that I don't get behind. And this is what annoys me. So you get so many people. I get that Nvidia, for the most part, is still considered the best card. But God, does it piss me off that when I look at their competitor and they're $1,000, again, Australian pricing, but $1,000 for a high-level card just because they've chosen not to overcharge on their AI tech. It's just, they're fucking stealing people's money just for those tensor cores. Just so certain people have the luxury of having the ability to do some of this AI programming. Like, it's just a massive fuck you. And in some regards, I do hope that AMD or even Intel figure out their shit and they go, aha, now we know how to make the exact same thing. And now Nvidia has a competitor, and now they have no option but to drop their fucking prices back to normality, which is where it fucking belongs. But whether that'll happen in our life, like in the next 5 or 10 years, I don't fucking know.
This is why the AI bubble needs to burst, because this is why everything's costing so fucking much. Because it's so resource heavy, and it's
cartoony,
really bad for the fucking planet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, but when you were looking at Hogwarts Legacy and just changing the slider with that, Hogsmeade is meant to kind of look a little foggy. You're in the fucking UK. Like, it's meant to.
No, but we want it to look like real life. We don't want it to be a simulation of a game. We want it to be a simulation of life. You're in the world. Fuck artistic integrity. Like,
I've said this in previous streams, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it until I die. I'm not attracted to games that have hyper-realism to them. It's why I've chosen not to play any Sony games, because I think they've pushed too much in that cinematic look of games, and I don't mesh with that. I just don't enjoy them. If you do, and I know Jake does, that's fine, because you enjoy those games.
Sure, but I would say that they at least have a more artistic style to what they do. Yes, no, they do have a very clear artistic style, even though they have some level of realism because they work on the motion capture, which is what they do spend a lot of money on. And it is unfortunate because it does mean that the gameplay ends up lacking. But there is a very clear, distinct artistic flair going through it. Whether you're looking at Horizon, whether you're looking at God of War, whether you're looking at Uncharted, whether you're looking at Last of Us, whether you're looking at Ghosts of Yote or Tsushima. Like, there's an artistic choice in there to make it as close to real, but not. Because they know that there's a feeling of uncanny valleyness when you do go ultra real. And then you're like, if we give it a slight edge to a cartoony look to it, or we just make it, it's kind of how when I look at a lot of the Rockstar games, there's just something not quite perfect about it. It's not like we're going ultra realistic. we're stylizing realism. And it becomes a little bit more bearable.
I'm going to say this with absolute certainty. To me, San Andreas was the last good GTA because it held onto that style so well. And then when they shifted into the next gen and they started pushing for the realism, the mocapping, I just felt so disconnected because
That's
then
fair.
it was like, oh, I'm just playing a real life simulator game.
Yep.
And I get it. I grew up in the era of having a Sega system. I've played Sonic 1. I had Mortal Kombat back on that system. I played Alex the Kid. Then I got into the PlayStation 1. So I've had that transition from 16-bit to the polygon era. And then the evolution of the polygons to what it is now. And there's just something that has been lost. And not that I want games to be low poly or have that style. I actually still own a working PS2. Treasure that thing forever. There's something about video games that are set in that era of gaming that just the level of creativity that you had to put in for it to look distinguished. I think I connect with that more. Looking at Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, how that game is very cartoony. Awesome. It's not taking itself seriously. It creates a beautiful world in this art style. Borderlands 1 and 2, 3, I guess 4. I haven't really looked at 4. I really put that on the back burner. That had such a distinct art style. It was cell shaded. There was a distinctness to it. Even playing Baldur's Gate 3, it has not a realistic look because you can't make magic look realistic because it's not something that is real.
It's not tangible.
So, correct. So there's a level of whimsy to it. I'm huge on art style. Like, I love Sea of Thieves. That style is so cool. Banjo-Kazooie, I mean, it's one of their games. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I still play all the Nintendo games, or as much as I can, because they're fun. Their design is congruent to the studio's mission of, so Nintendo, they'll make a Mario game. Let's use Mario Wonder as an example. They changed the art style. Mario looks more stumpier. Everyone looks a little bit more chonky. It's a bit more of an homage to the old school Mario, but it still has a distinct look, and they have been consistent in creating a game that looks the way it always does, because when you see that character, it is always going to be that character. It's why I prefer animated over a live action adaptation, because in the animations, you have so much more creativity and freedom of creating something. But once you get into realism, you're then grounding it to a level of, well, this has to be tangible to what real life is.
Not necessarily. No, look, I disagree with that. I completely disagree
because
that's fine.
Once you start doing realism, so let's go back to One Piece live action. In the anime,
yeah, but you're talking about a different medium. You're talking about a different medium. I know where you're coming from. I'll let you finish your sentence, though.
Okay, so you've got characters who evolve, do wacky things. You've got someone who has a jaw for a mouth. You've got a man who turns into sand. Luffy who stretches. Zoro who has 3 swords, a sword in his mouth to fight. You've got Sanji who eventually starts climbing. Nico Robin who uses extremities to attack. You start creating a world even in the manga where you can create something that's just so absurd that when you start watching the live action, you just go, but you're just a human and a computer's just doing that. The relationship of that doesn't mix. And I get that I'm going into a different sort of entertainment medium of movie special effects.
Mm-hmm.
But that also relates to video games, because now you're getting games that are, look at how when this character goes and walks, the wind will blow their hair because that's what happens in real life. Yeah, you can have every strand, but I'm not a fucking idiot. And if you do it in a way that cheats a system where maybe a block of hair moves, I get the same indication. Our brains are able to interpret things and not be drip fed with, well, in real life, it would happen like this. Yes, that's because it's not in a video game. In real life, that happens. In a video game, no one is expecting realism. It's a video game for a reason. It's to escape and to play a role of a fucking mobster, a fucking pirate, a samurai. It's, for me, really discerning to play a game that's so high.
But yeah, I understand that. I agree with you that CGI has become the crux, that it is the simple thing to do because it's much easier than having to deal with stunt doubles. I mean, Marvel films are a perfect example of this, but again, I don't have that issue when I'm watching Iron Man flying around. It's unrealistic. Or seeing Doctor Strange doing his magic circles. It's unrealistic, but it fucking works. And it's because it's stylized in a way that kind of makes sense. And I think, again, if you were to look at One Piece and you weren't trying to make it shot for shot like the fucking anime, and you went, how do we stylize this in a realistic setup, it would work. It's all about understanding the medium. Now, your thoughts on, it's not even your thoughts, your love for a certain type of art is what you love. So I understand you've kind of always had the appreciation and you prefer the Saturday morning cartoon kind of get up and the look and the feeling of it. Whether that's nostalgic, kind of breathing through that thought process, whether it's something else, it doesn't matter. That is your preference on when you are engaged with a medium, that's what draws you to that world. You're drawn by the artwork that inspires something from your childhood. I just look at whether it's realistic actors or whether it's animation. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can find a way to understand the medium that you're working in and stylize it in very different ways, whether overly exaggerated animation or kind of finding that middle ground, or whether you choose to make it as realistic as possible, all of that has artistic merit. There's just different various levels of art. And I think certain artists, for you sit there and you go, oh, they're just trying to make something realistic. Think about how much effort it takes to draw something like The Lion King, which I know individual pieces is a lot of work. But then trying to do something realistic is another level of work, because now you're trying to work and understand how lighting works and how the skin and how the body moves in a very unique way. And that in itself is a form of art. It's like when you go to the not a museum, but like an art gallery, you have artwork that is, your Van Goghs or your fucking Picassos, which are just abstract or something more colorful and creative. And then you've got your Da Vinci, your Michelangelos, like you're really kind of ultra realistic because you had various range of art. And it's just, what's your preference? What do you prefer looking at and watching? And I think certain works of art do a better job because the artists understand the medium they're working with and they understand how to best preserve and present it within that medium. They take the story, they take the concepts or the themes or whatever it may be, and they go, how do we make it so it is congruent within the medium that we're working with? Versus, again, this One Piece or a lot of these animes that exist that are these live action fucking interpretations where they're not respecting the medium they're working with. They're just going, well, that we're going to do shot for shot and try and match the animations and the colors, as opposed to how do you actually make it feel like it's a live action film? What level of CGI would you need to put in, and where would you put the CGI so that it enhances, not over fucking shadows the actual.
I look at so much, and not that I think I know everything.
Look, you have
And
your
you're right.
tastes. You have your
Exactly.
tastes, and there's
And I
nothing
think
wrong
you're
with that.
right. I think there is a level of nostalgia that comes to my preference in content that I watch, because I would rather watch an animated or a cartoon over live action any fucking day. Any day. Because for me and how my brain works, I would much rather experience something that is out of this world, like watching Cowboy Bebop. Holy shit. Awesome. So grounded. Space travel, space opera. Fucking sign me up. Love that. Don't get me wrong. I think, which is a really rare case for me, the live action adaptation of it, because it's a grounding anime and not very far-fetched, and you did make a good point as well. I think the live action Cowboy Bebop works so well because it didn't exceed things that are so crazy. And you're only relying on, okay, well, this spaceship is CGI. That's fine.
Yep.
I can discern that, okay, there are levels of this that are going to be not realistic, and it looks real enough for me to go, yep, that's fine.
Yep.
But when you look at Marvel films, and I'm just going to count from Iron Man
To Endgame.
to, no, just after, because WandaVision was fucking solid.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun.
But even the CGI in that, it didn't feel so discerning for the realism of, well, Wanda's gonna fly. It doesn't look weird because the art of it worked. Don't get me wrong. There is levels of me going, I'd rather watch a cartoon.
Yep.
Like how I would much prefer watching the Miles Morales cartoons because of how fucking wild the artistic style is and why it takes so long for them to come out. I love, because you can get away with treating your character doing weird shit. Amazing Spider-Man is the closest I've ever seen to seeing a comic book adaptation of Spider-Man to live action work so well, just purely by creating a character who moves like a spider.
Yep.
When Peter's crawling over, oh my god, I was going to say Doc Ock, but it's not. The crocodile. Oh my god, what's his name? The scientist.
Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octavius.
No, there's a.
Oh, the crocodile.
Yeah, what's his name?
You're talking about the lizard?
The lizard, thank
It's
you.
the lizard because Croc is from Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh no, I'm getting them confused.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's the
senior
lizard.
moment.
I forgot what his name is. Fucking hell, the scientist.
When in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 or 1, when the lizard's introduced, you see Peter crawling over him in a way that we never see in any of the other live actions. And it's like, yes, you're interpreting this well. There's a my brain works so weird when it looks at live action. I can't help but dissect those moments and go, oh, this just looks weird for me.
Yeah. It breaks the illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that I've watched so much of the mediums of Spider-Man. I've read the comics. I've watched the anime of One Piece. I'm up to date and I've read the manga. And then watching the live action, it's like, there's just, you just can't do things. And they're doing their fucking best. And I said this before, their choreography is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. But when you've got Sanji fighting 2 CGI enemies while on the phone to number 0, it's like, he's not fighting anything. There's nothing there. And it looks so weird.
Mace, if you're still there, what's the name of that? I think it's an anime. It was an anime or a manga first, but it's the... Unless you know it's StreetRat. It's a Japanese character that fights with the sword backwards.
Oh.
Anime with character
Rurouni Kenshin?
What's it called?
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin. Yeah, there we go.
Rurouni and then Kenshin.
All right, so
Kenshin.
have you seen the live action videos of this?
I've never heard of this. So
okay.
No.
Right. So this is one of those super anime as it gets. And I gotta admit, whoever did the choreography for this is a fucking legend. Because he just gets the feel and the tone of it right in the context of the medium. Just understands it. He goes, okay, I'm just making a wushu style film. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll be here. And it's as anime as it fucking gets. But it just works because they know where to use the CGI to enhance it, but they've stylized it and know how to use the choreography to make it look grounded within the medium. Because yeah, you're right. Like, you can't just... Characters that walk normally, and then all of a sudden they're doing these weird flips. And to be fair, you watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and it looks amazing, but there are points where you kind of go, he's fucking moving in a weird way that just doesn't feel organic at times. But it looks flashy and entertaining. So I think that honestly, the biggest issue with Hollywood doing anything revolving around Japanese stuff is that they just don't have... I reckon... No, this is the real issue. They've got the stunt doubles, or they could hire the stunt doubles, but God forbid they go to the effort of actually getting people on board and hiring people that know how to do all the wire work and how to do all the proper training. Because it costs too much money, so we'll just fix it in post.
Yep.
And then it ends up looking cheaper by definition because you haven't actually done the groundwork and actually done the proper choreography like they do in this, where it's just, again, it looks good because it is choreographed in a realistic setting, or as close as you can. Like, here we go. I don't know. This will probably give you a better idea. I've got, the sound's off. But again, they're doing this crazy kind of movement where they're like getting close to the ground. They're speeding up the camera work so it obviously looks faster than what it actually is. And it feels like an anime with real live people. But God forbid Hollywood actually train actors to even do this kind of stuff on some level. So, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying One Piece live action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. And I think they follow a wushu style of combat as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when it starts getting so the exaggeration of things.
Yep.
That's where it takes me out.
Yep. It gets a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah. But that's why I don't like realistic video games.
Well, this is what...
Back to my point.
This is the problem that I had with Star Wars when they suddenly started adding all this magical shit where I'm like, at least there was some tangible feeling to the Force in the originals. And then you get to, 7, 8, 9 or some of the animations.
They fly now.
They do, yeah, exactly. And you're just like, guys, no, like, oh my God. Like, it was impressive when we had Star Killer sitting there and going, I'm going to use all the power of the Force to fucking pull down a
Star Destroyer.
A Star Destroyer, yeah, which was like, fucking, that is sick.
Yep.
But you don't want that every fucking time. You want pinnacle characters that pull that off because then it's really impressive. And you want it to feel like it's a fuck ton of effort to do that. As opposed to, oh, well, now we've hit the next power level, so now every character can do this. Well, now it's not special anymore. Like, there's a reason why Palpatine is such a cool villain. And killing him is so important because he's the greatest manipulator. He's cunning and deceiving and just knows how to get into the person's brain and know exactly what to say to get them to react. So killing someone who is, more of a charismatic villain and an ultimate manipulator of the Force, as opposed to, he's just super dominant and powerful. It's like taking down King Kong. Yeah, it's okay. There's a place for that. There's another type of villain for that. But yeah, we're all gonna have our likes and dislikes when it comes to any work of art, and you just decided yours. I'm just a little bit more freeing and open to some degree. And then in other ways, I'm not. As we've established with Star Wars and other things where I just go, yeah, not for me. I understand the appreciation. I understand the love and the affection for the other things that I just don't click with anymore. And that's okay. That's the beauty of this artwork. But I think at the crux of all of this is we don't want AI to sit there, or these tech companies to sit there and go, yeah, so we're just going to completely remove the need for artists and the work and the creative flow and we're just going to have it so a computer does it all for you. So you don't even need any of that. You know, if you pay us $5,000 or $10,000 to build this ultimate machine, you can tell a machine to, you know, entertain you and go, I want to watch this with this parameter, with these action set pieces, and I want you to like feed it to me. And then it's just this garbage with no point, no context, because it actually hasn't gone through multiple artists or a group of artists or a single writer to kind of go, what's the journey? Why are we even on this journey in the first place? Why is storytelling so important in the first place? Because we have a motivation and a character that needs to learn something or figure something out or solve a problem. Like, that is why we are storytellers. That's why we create art, whether we're trying to capture something in a moment or express it using the best of our abilities of how it looks in our mind or how we want it to reflect something in the world. Like, that's what makes art so beautiful. Telling a computer to just shit something out without any real context to it or any passion, it's just feels meaningless. It's literally just like, oh yeah, cool. Piece of entertainment just for like, oh, look, he fell down. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. What was the point of that? He fell down. That was the point. Look, we got to, it's, anyway. I'm babbling.
That's fine.
Do we want to?
So,
yes, you go.
I think Crimson Desert, I think we should leave for the last topic.
Cool. Did you want to talk about the Tomb Raider news? Did you read about that?
Did you have access to my notes?
No, but I added it in because I knew that was going to be part of the conversation.
Crazy that you would know that I would talk about Tomb Raider.
I think about you. Come on. If I'm seeing something that I go, I wonder if StreetRat will like this, I will bring it in. And if you don't know about it, cool, now we can talk about it. Yes, so they've had a recent... or they're going to have a recent, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're firing people, essentially. There's a
this
better
is their
word.
fourth round of
this year.
Yep.
That's
fourth.
Seriously, that's fucking concerning. I don't know how you feel about that, but I am seriously concerned for them.
I mentioned this last stream that I had some concerns. That's it, layoffs.
Jesus Christ.
I had some concerns about Crystal Dynamics because of the sudden change in interests and the lack of any information. We're meant to be getting a new Tomb Raider game this year and another one next year. It is the 30th anniversary of Tomb Raider. I want to say, 30. Oh my God. It's just worrisome that I'm looking forward to this game because it's looking like it's going more in the focus of what the Legend series Lara was, where she was a lot more acrobatic. There was a lot more free flow, whereas I felt that the Survivor trilogy just took so much away. And how many times can you market, watch as Lara Croft becomes the Tomb Raider? Okay, isn't she a Tomb Raider by now? So I was looking forward to this game.
Love that.
But what really terrifies me, and I think my theory is correct, they're going to push these games back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I see that.
We're going to get this next year, and I don't think we'll get Catalyst the year after. I think that will be 2 years later. But their little brief that they notice, oh no, we're still working on Tomb Raider. You'll still get the games. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, but in what
just
state?
much later.
Yeah.
And that's another concern. How rushed are we going to feel with the investors going, well, you need to release this game?
Chop, chop. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
Why isn't it done yet? Why can't you figure... It's Tomb Raider. It's just do another Uncharted. Just give us some platforming. It's like, oh, you got to design the puzzles, make sure the puzzles work and that they're focus tested and that people understand what the puzzles are and how to get through it, and make interesting level designs and interesting bosses and caverns and secrets and this and that. And it's just, let's go. And this is the thing, considering they are talking about this game in a sense that it's an open world, or like I would say an open sandbox, they're trying to make it bigger.
So that's the Catalyst. That's the one coming out next year.
Yeah, but that's the one that's being done by Crystal. And if they are losing team members, why? What the fuck's going on? So then I really asked the question of, okay, so you're now cutting back on your programmers, your artists? Because, okay, theoretically, you can get external artists as contractors to get them to finalize, any of the artwork that you need, but it fucking sucks. Especially if you got people that have the expertise and the knowledge that have been working on these games for fucking ages. Why would you not want to keep them? But
yeah,
I'm not dealing with their books. I'm not budgeting their creative kind of flow and everything else that they're obviously balancing as far as the other studios that they're in charge of. It does suck, though. It's concerning.
I can assure you, this game will have DLSS 5 capabilities.
Well, I mean, does it not look like this is literally using that tech, but they just never really announced it? Like, there are scenes in this. That's a perfect example of the fact that they've just gone, yeah, here's the Nvidia rendering in full effect here. I always thought when I saw this, when they first showed off the trailer, that this was way too clean, that there was something about the look of her, and I'm like, and I know we're capable of this type of artwork, but not without a lot of fucking work. And if they did, kudos to the artist that spent many, many fucking weeks making sure that her eyes had organic, natural bounce light and reflections. Because that's not easy to do with the rest of the skin kind of tones and the little wrinkles that you kind of see down her neck and all the little blemishes on her shoulder, the bits of dirt, all of that. As well as all the clothing on top of her. That's like another layer of fucking shit you need to deal with. So
it is a pre-rendered video. And it shows.
Yeah.
I don't mind so much pre-rendering because Square Enix does a really good job with that.
Yep.
The in-game stuff, I imagine we'll start seeing a lot more of the DLSS 5 capabilities, where, I'm sorry, does she not... Okay, I get that some people think she looks manly. I fucking disagree. She looks really fucking good. For a character that's a rendition of now 2 remakes or remasters.
It's still fun as fucked, but anyway.
She looks great. Her face looks great. At no point has she ever looked off.
Yep.
With their different interpretations. Again, it's just worrisome to see what the AI tech is going to do to create, oh, well, you've worked really hard on this, but this is how she looks with AI. And it's like, but why? She was designed this way for a reason. But I'm concerned. I hope we get it.
Time will tell.
There's always a concern that they might just cancel it.
Jesus, that would be so fucking sad. That would really be so fucking sad.
Because this is one of my personal favorite IPs. I
Yeah,
love.
Look, I'm not the biggest fan. It's not that I'm not the biggest fan. I haven't gone through the original 4 or 5 games, and I did miss out on majority of the I never did Anniversary, and I never did Underworld.
Underworld?
Yeah,
Mm.
which I should have, and I should, because I know that they are really good games. I know, despite your frustration, I enjoyed the Survivor trilogy, though I acknowledge that they lack some level of personality. They feel like they're trying too hard to be like an Uncharted with a couple of extra little bits, but I feel like Uncharted has more heart and weight, even if there are things that don't quite add up or make sense. So, we can sit here and argue the adding Sam in as a character on the 4th story, and suddenly, oh, Drake's got a brother. We didn't know about it up until now. Yeah, I get it. It's a shoehorn storytelling device. But somehow those games, just when you play them and you go through the story from beginning to end, has more weight, more heart, more personality than what the Survivor series does. And the Survivor series aren't bad games. They're just, as far as adventure games, they're like, yeah, they're okay. They're fun. And that's about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I grow concerned, but hopefully we do get something.
I really hope because they have the opportunity to bring back such a cool character in such a cool way, and what I'm seeing looks solid. Whether it actually comes out as we expect is another story entirely. But they really do have an opportunity to bring back the classic adventure, which I feel like is missing. And maybe stuff like Crimson Desert is what's filling that void. Like your Crimson Desert, your Elden Ring, all of that kind of offers that level of adventure, that level of scalability and discovery and secrets and traps. So, but it'd be nice to have it in a more concise A to B, as opposed to, we're going to give you an open world to explore. And it's like, can we just, I want a condensed, give me a 10, 15 hour experience. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed they get to the finish line. Boy, painful.
I hope so.
Painful.
Yeah. I've shared my concerns with the IP in last stream. And seeing the news about Crystal Dynamics, I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't want to be right.
Sucks.
Ugh.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
This is a small one. Apparently, the Xbox One finally got hacked.
Oh.
I don't really have much else to say, but I thought that was really kind of cool news that it's finally been broken open. So I would say that they're going to start being able to do the piracy thing or do some sort of emulation, ROMs, whatever it may be. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested in Xbox One emulation for whatever flippin' reason. Although that might have some usefulness considering the difficulty that they've had with the 360 stuff. So I guess if you can run it an Xbox One, you have a little bit more availability to the back catalog, maybe? I don't know. Possibility.
Because the Xbox One is the current Xbox?
No, I think this is the one prior. So that's not the Series X. So this was the one that like truly fucking failed. This was the one right after the 360.
Okay. Oh boy. Well, good on them.
Let's see. It's finally been hacked after 12 years. And there's a whole video on it. So, yeah.
Interesting. Because
What
I
else?
thought
Yeah, go.
Microsoft was close to bringing backward compatibility for all of their games. I thought they were close to getting that done.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what Microsoft is doing in general, considering the next Xbox is theoretically a PC. Are they finally able to bridge the gap? Are they not? I don't know. We just need to wait and see what new updates they release to Windows and how the new console is kind of set up. My guess is that they want to merge it all so it is just this one unified system and you just select kind of the way Steam Deck works, where you've got the Steam OS that's just for gaming, but then you can switch to like a desktop mode that's now you're running your Linux. So maybe they're trying to implement that layer on top of Windows now, so that people that just want to play video games, they can load into their like gaming operating system that's just purely for gaming. It's not as resource intensive. And then if you need to do anything that's more on the workflow side, you switch to desktop mode, and now you're in the normal Windows 11 or 12, whatever they release it as. Yeah. What other newsy bits have you got? I've got a few, other than the obvious.
Subnautica 2.
Yeah! Did I add that? I think I did. Krafton ordered to
Can go
reverse its
fuck
action
themselves.
against Subnautica creator Ted Gill. Is reinstated
fun fact.
over Underworld. Go.
So, as I rudely interrupted, you were reading.
I just had a bit of a summary, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, the summary is essentially exactly. So, Krafton lost their court case, reinstated Gill as the CEO of Unknown Worlds, which Krafton has broken their contract and the law situated by the judge. They announced the early access release of the game without the knowledge of the CEO.
Creator. Yeah.
Who said, no, this is not what was the plan, but okay. So things are getting a little rocky for a publisher. I'm looking forward to Subnautica 2, mainly because of the cooperative side of things.
Yep.
I was excited, but now with everything that's happening,
it's a bit concerning.
I really want Krafton to go fuck themselves and just fuck off.
Yeah.
Because Subnautica 1, though I never finished the game and saw the credits roll, I'm fairly close to the end. The fucking Leviathans are a bitch to get through. I'm looking forward to exploring that space because of the amount of creativity they've added to this sea or ocean is just incredible. And I do want to plan on playing that cooperatively with you once it's at a stage that it is okay. It's not early access.
We can play it.
1.0, 1.2, whatever it is. But for Krafton to have a reaction of, well, we're going to announce that the game's releasing in early access in May. Well, we're at the end of March. There's no trailer for your announcement. There's no marketing, nothing. I think it was a real dick fucking move for them to do that, because now you've reinstated the CEO back, who, well, this is his project, not yours. It fucking sucks.
Man, it's just the culture itself would be tough because you're coming back knowing that, all right, well, I finally have the control that I'm meant to have over my fucking team and the game that I've been working on, that I've been there from the fucking beginning. And now I have to continue working with this fucking CEO who's providing us funds and theoretically publishing rights to this project that I'm working on. Like, that's a tough place to be. Now, apparently, he's suing them because, the CEO of Krafton decided, we're just going to release this fucking game. Here's the date, on May 12th or May something, and he's like, whoa, hold on. No, that's not what we agreed on. Why are you... We've just gone through this. Now I have to fucking go through this process with lawyers again to tell you to sit the fuck down and just let us do what we need to? It's fucked. It's not what you want to... It's not the position you want to be in as a developer. You want him working on the game. Let him work on the game so it comes out in a state. And just accept the fact that you made the deal you made. You signed on the fucking dotted line.
Yep.
Don't back out unless you cannot financially... what's the word I'm looking for? Fulfill the agreement. So, yeah, it's just bullshit. It's just fucking... Higher executives, just some of them are so stupid and so
out of touch.
Yeah. Just whack. Absolute whack.
Yeah.
You know, to be in a position that your job is to be a really good communicator and like someone who understands and be the bridging medium between creative and financial, so that you go, okay, I'm not the creative guy. I'm going to rely on the creative people and the creative entity to do what they need. But I also need them to work within these confines and this budget. I will help them out as much as I can. If they need resources, if they need talent, if they need something, we will work it out within whatever the budget is. Mm-hmm. And I need to make sure that the artists are aware of what the limits are, because artists sometimes, like we know with Tim Burton, don't have limits and will happily create till their heart's content, because art is never done. And so you need someone who's business minded to kind of go, and stop. Or, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in line, fix this, it needs to be done. I'm giving you 2 weeks, get it done in 2 weeks. Don't spend any more time. What do you mean no, I don't. Get rid of those extra features. Not needed. Fix this. So you need that level of management. But this Krafton guy is just a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, more people really need to look at who's the guy that's running Take-Two? at the moment.
Who is
What is
running
his
Take-Two?
name?
I didn't think he was doing a good job.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen GTA?
Oh,
Strauss
no.
Zelnick.
Take-Two, isn't that where the
Strauss
publishers
Zelnick.
for Borderlands? No, I'm thinking of what's his name.
No, you're talking about Randy Pitchford, who is
Yeah.
the owner, who's the CEO of the Borderlands team, which
My
I've
bad.
now forgot the name. No, so Strauss Zelnick is the CEO of Take-Two, the publisher for Borderlands, but
Yep.
they're also the publisher for Rockstar. And I think as a CEO, he just gets it. He's got people underneath him who he knows, okay, I am not a creative person. I don't fucking play video games. But I know that creative people are able to create something that is worth value to the audience. And all I'm going to do is set a budget, set an expectation. I'm going to make sure that they are hitting their deadlines and that they're getting shit done. And okay, if they're close to making something that is unique, that is big, that is going to pull people in because it's interesting, it's fun, and it's novel, how much more time do you need? Can we fit it within the budget that we've got? Awesome. Here's another 6 months. Oh, we're really close. There's just a couple of these issues. All right. Let's see if we can stretch it a little bit more. But we can't go any further than this. That's a guy that's making it work.
Sounds very normal and full of common sense.
Yeah. It's funny what happens when you just spend the time and just talk to your team and you have that back and forth. And, I'm sure Strauss has had conversations with people in Rockstar or, his various teams and go, why is this taking so long? Okay, if this is taking so long, what do you need? Or what do we need to implement so that we can get this done in a timely fashion and in a cost-effective manner? Because that is important. It'd be nice to have infinite funds, but eventually, you just gotta release your fucking shit. This is what annoys me about the guy who did BioShock.
Kevin Levine?
Yeah, Kevin Levine, yeah. Because he's been working on Judas for so long, and I'm like, just dude, shit or get off the pot, man. Why the fuck isn't this game out? And when I've seen the trailer, and it's like, yeah, the world and the storytelling and everything that you're selling on the idea of what the game's gonna offer is cool. But when I look at the gameplay and I go, this is just another BioShock, that might be interesting to some people, but I'm kind of like, that's it? I feel like you should have done something more than this, but maybe the gameplay is gonna be fun as it needs to be, with far more interesting choice and consequence. I don't know. I've gone off tangent though, but yeah. So in general, the Krafton shit is just, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Bad management.
Oh, fucking terrible.
Well, I just feel bad for Ted Gill. Just to be in that situation and have to fight for what is rightfully his and his team's decision to release the game in whatever state that they choose to release it. And if they feel that it's not ready, it's not ready. So, yeah, it sucks. It does suck.
But Final Fantasy IX is coming back.
Has there been some recent news for this?
Final Fantasy IX animated series.
Oh, God.
Called The Black Mage Academy.
That's right. I did read about this. You're absolutely right.
I hope I'm right.
No, there was something I saw.
I wrote my topics about this.
I wrote it, so it must be real. No, I did see something about this. Because there was some news. I don't remember where. I don't know if it was on this channel or something else. But yeah, it's just give me a fucking like a remake, but in the style of the original with just improved textures. It doesn't need any extra content. This isn't FF7.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't want an FF7 7 remake
Seven?
style for most of their games. I agree. Just remaster it. Just touch it up. Add some quality of life shit to it. That's all you need.
To
You
be
don't need
fair,
much.
they might have just found, like, they sat there and went, we know that we're theoretically maybe working on this in-house, but we want the awareness to be around this when it releases or when we announce it. So let's hire a really cheap animation studio to just put something together. So builds awareness. It builds, brand recognition and
True.
brings it back into the
Mainstream spotlight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get
So,
people talking about it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But there's such a big cult following for it that
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they would have been fine just doing it.
Have you ever played it?
Where am I up to? Because I'm playing it on the Switch.
Okay, so you've probably done a lot of the introduction.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've escaped the circus.
Yep.
Crash landed.
That
I remember the
game,
crash.
as a role-playing game, that game really impressed me. So I had Super loaded up for me and had me play the introduction and play through like an hour or two. And I was blown away by the subtle decisions and choices that were made in the moment-to-moment role-playing mechanics. For instance, having a character, like in a story sense, be eaten by a vine, and then you have to basically attack the vine. But every time you attack it, you're attacking the other character. And it's like, for fuck. So like we gotta like balance the healing and the damage and everything else, and what part of it we damage, or the fact that you do the play as a role-playing game. And I just, some of those sequences, I go, fuck, you actually thought about this. You went, this is a role-playing game, but how do we make it so it all is in-game? Like, we're not just going to have this be a cutscene. No, we're going to actually have it as a game mechanic. And that, for me, is what really fucking shines.
9 played with systems that you don't see now.
No, you don't see. I haven't seen most modern role-playing games, even a lot of the modern Final Fantasy games, have any level of that type of creativity. It's really fucking impressive.
It's anyone that wants to experience Final Fantasy, sure, play 7. 7's very relatable to today, scarily enough for a game that came out in 1996. But 9, an awesome adventure.
Yeah.
Then play 12, because 12's better. Oh, wow, who said that?
I wonder who.
I love 12.
I know
it's
you
such
do.
a good fucking game.
I never finished it. I think I got past the desert, and then
so the start.
No, not that desert. There was
I know,
another
I
one a
know.
little bit later, much
It's
later.
I I know I'm in a minority, but I think their combat system, having the gambit system, having the control of automation just works so well. And Final Fantasy Rebirth and Remake really fucking needed that shit. So good.
I appreciate it. I think like you on a mechanical fundamental level. I think it's a great system. The problem is that most people will look at that and go, I don't want to fucking deal with any of this. This is just, it's too
But
much.
that's the thing. Don't equip any gambits.
I get that. But the problem is, it does become kind of important later on when you start dealing with some of the more higher, tougher enemies.
But that's the thing. If Final Fantasy, I'm going to use Rebirth because that's the most recent one that I've played. You can have the systems as is, but then implement a gambit system without needing to use materia so that Aerith has to use a materia slot for auto heal. Just have a system for gambit and say, okay, when Aerith has these materia equipped, Aerith, cast Blizzard if enemy is weak to
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
Aerith, when ally is below 30%, cast Cure
Yep.
or Curaga.
Well, it's the same
Cloud,
way.
use this ability.
Didn't Kingdom Hearts use similar systems like that? I think.
Not to the same extent.
Correct.
12 was like a full system.
Yeah.
Because that was meant to be the MMO.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it has a lot more of the okay, well, we're going to account that people aren't playing this cooperatively. So we need to make sure that these characters can perform in a way that can do things while you're focusing. Because a lot happens. Because it's all free roam fighting. So if there's an enemy, well, good luck because maybe another enemy is going to show up. And it's like, oh, fuck, now I've got to deal with this guy. Kingdom Hearts does, I think it's 3. 2 does have it where you can go, okay, well, Donald cast magic at this certain point, so use it sparingly, use it freely. You can tell Donald to be close to you, not fighting. You can have Goofy use his specials more frequently and fight targets other than your targets. So there is a system to it where you can choose how you want your party members to attack.
Yeah.
But not to the same level. Nowhere near. And I think that's the kind of systems that I would like to see adapted into more Final Fantasy games, where if you are focusing so much on your team combos and stuff, I fucking hate the ATB system. I think it's archaic. I think it's done and dusted. I get it. People want the experience. I was close to installing a mod where it was just unlimited ATB because I couldn't give a fucking shit.
Yeah.
But when you've got Barrett who's not in the party and is fighting from the sidelines, let him cast heal. Let him use his special abilities. Why do I have to give him a materia for being outside of the party to use abilities when I could have his materia set up in a specific way? It just... no.
Yeah.
I really like 12 and its approach. And the story is phenomenal. I love the story. It's just a medieval steampunk Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I see. So.
Very political, like they all are. Very nice. But yeah. Play 9, everyone. it's a great game to experience. And the more people that talk about it, the more attention it gets and more reason for Square Enix to go, oh, maybe we should put some money behind this.
Maybe.
But the Switch 2 got a fun little update.
Oh, wait. Is this the 1080p?
Almost.
Okay.
Not
'Cause
quite 1080p.
No, so
I
what
think
I
8 something.
yeah, so what I heard today, I was listening to Stephanie Sterling talk about this. Well, actually, it was her associate, Laura Kate Dale. Basically, from what I've heard, it's essentially a toggle that allows you to any of the original Steam Switch games that would typically just revert to their standard like 720p. You can now set it so it plays like it's in docked mode. So now it actually has the proper upres.
Just for the Switch 1 titles, any Switch 1 title that got an update for the Switch 2 does not work.
Yep.
I haven't tested it because the only game I've played have been Switch 2 games. So I haven't fucked around with it, so to speak.
Yep.
But I'm fucking impressed. This just means that they're giving attention to
The older stuff.
Some people aren't going to be buying the old games. Oh, sorry. They're not going to get the upgrades to some of the games because money, whatever reason. Here, play the game in a better format. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
And you're right. Nintendo's killing it. They're doing a great fucking job.
They're just, look, I gotta admit, this week it's like, oh, they finally just took a little bit of a break, but they still like, still here.
Nope.
Just like a small little bit. It was like, oh, you're just keeping the awareness game up, and they're just hitting home runs, man. They are really just hitting home runs. It's really fucking impressive to see the consistency, the commitment to the platform, the commitment to the audience, the fans, the customers. They're just constantly trying to find ways to add more value in the best way that they possibly can. So, yeah.
Which I think is such a great thing. It is so refreshing to just have a company that just goes, I get it. Not everyone's going to like their decisions.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That decision wasn't for you then. But for a lot of other people, it is. And it makes sense to do it. I've never used the game chat feature. Even though I've got heaps of people playing Pokepedia and I keep telling them at work, if you've got Nintendo Online, let's go to a Dream Island. Let's play online. One of my friends has a whole bunch of her personal friends that some are in the gaming community. One's a journalist, and a lot of them have a Switch 2. They're playing Pokepedia. I'm like, let's set up a group chat. Let's do this. Let's add each other. This will give me a reason to fucking use the feature that the Switch 2 has, and I don't have to use a third party.
No.
I'm not going to use a camera. Fuck no. I'm not plugging that shit in. No, but
not doing it.
It's
not
there.
doing it. Yeah.
Since COVID, Nintendo has gone a lot more in, all right, we really need to start leaning into this interactivity via the internet. And I like that it still has the mindset of kids are playing this, so you have to be friends with that person to use this feature.
Yeah.
So if you're playing Fortnite, you have to be friends with that person to use the game chat feature. Awesome. That's fine. I like that. because I don't want to hear the stupid shit on chat, hearing all kinds of slurs and how my mum's this and that and all that bullshit. No, I'm good. I'm an adult. I don't need to hear that shit.
Oh, God. Kids being kids.
Yeah. But I am liking that Nintendo is making more accessibility for their games and keeping their Switch games so much more relevant. And I love that because my Switch library is huge because that's my preferred console to play with.
Yeah, and
Otherwise,
that's
if it's
fine.
not on Switch, I'm playing it on Steam.
Yep.
And if it ain't on either, oh well, I ain't playing them.
And I think that's where a lot of these companies are becoming more privy and aware. Like Sony's played this game really well because they're the only other major console successor. This is what the Xbox head Phil Spencer was talking about, that they lost a generation that they probably shouldn't have. And unfortunately, now not many people have gone out of their way to buy an Xbox. Now, they also shot themselves in the face because if they were smart, they would have competed with Steam, not just on the console side, but also on the Windows side. If they had bothered to release their games not just on the console, but on PC at the same time, which is probably what they're trying to look at now, might be a bit too late, in my opinion, they probably would have had more success. But the Windows Store is fucking shit. So why would anyone pick it over their competitor, Steam? They fuck themselves. They completely fuck themselves in that department. Whereas if they thought about that and went, we actually have a fan base here already on PC. Let's tailor make it so that it works. Whatever they buy on Xbox is also available on PC. Now people have a reason to go, well, if I just want the cheaper system, I go buy an Xbox. But then if I want the high-end shit, I can chuck it on PC and there I go. I've got the high-res, high version of this exact game running on this system. But anyway, they're fuckwits.
Yeah.
In certain aspects. Like, they've just made really poor business decisions and it sucks. But they've had to learn that the hard way.
It's a shame because they had to compete with themselves. They became their own worst enemy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because all the Xbox games you can get on Steam. Because they know that the market is on Steam.
Yeah.
Which, yes, unfortunate as it is, that's your monopoly.
Yep.
Because Steam has been around since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Doing this and building this relationship with their consumers. Making small things, like small changes here and there. But it works.
People underestimate how important it is to listen to your fucking customers, to sit there and go, all right, what is it that the customers want, need, ask for? How can we make it as easy for them, as accessible for them, as varied as possible for them? That's why Steam has successfully grown and grown. Even if it's slow, they've done it organically, but they've done their best to make sure that they're fulfilling and enhancing the customer experience without making it feel like, oh, we're going to charge you and fucking nickel and dime you for every part of this service. No. We're taking our 20-30% cut from every single one of your sales. So every time you purchase something, we put that back into what we can for you. Even if it's a small percentage, that way we can continue paying our staff and making sure that we can grow the company and add investment elsewhere. But not everyone thinks that way. No, not everyone's thinking about the slow progression of building a business that can last generations. They just think about how can we fulfill our shareholder pockets.
Our immediate
Mm.
fix.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a long-term thinking, it's short-term.
Correct.
And that is such a bad way. I get it. You need to think long-term,
Yeah.
but you've got to start small. Oh, sorry. You can't think short. You've got to think, okay, how can we successfully do this? When Epic Games created their game store, bare bones, pretty much to the level of what Steam started off as. And they're still nowhere near. And I'm sorry, look at your competitor. They've already got things that are accessible for people. Shouldn't you be starting at that level?
Be nice. Yeah. Be fucking nice.
But last thing before we get into Crimson Desert, Starfield.
Oh, you did what? Oh, awesome. I did have this, but I wasn't sure if this was something you were interested in. Yes, so Starfield has released and announced their new DLC. Where,
yes.
Oh shit, where have I got it here? So it's
something.
All right, so Trackers Alliance was available the day of the announcement. Free Lanes, which is their addition and improvements to the building and crafting side of things, with a new vehicle type. And flying, yes, that's right. And the spaceship, I think that's the other big component of it, where you've got improvements to the spaceships, so you can kind of make your own little Starship Enterprise. And then Terran Armada, which is the next proper story
Terran
DLC.
Armada. That's what it is.
Where it's about like some AI robots. And that's those 2 bits of DLC release on April 7th. With theoretically discussions on them doing further work to it later down the line. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I think this is cool for the fans that played the game and enjoyed it. I think this is great. It shows a level of commitment. They're trying to give it more of that organic space exploration, which I think is really neat. How it comes together by the end, and whether, the audience enjoys it and eats it up, will be determined when it comes out. So April 7th, it'll be when we have to look forward to that. Have you played Starfield?
I did. Never finished it.
Okay.
But what I've played, I enjoyed, for the most part, I enjoyed it. When I was flying, I listened to custom music. I tried to, immerse my own experience. And I didn't really explore the POIs of planets or anything. I went to where I stopped playing was essentially getting to what I call the cyberpunk city planet. And doing a lot of the missions there. And even though they wanted me to go out and stuff, I did all of that. But then I hit a level in the game where I was like, it's just missing something. It's just not there, but I can get it in No Man's Sky. And I went back to No Man's Sky and played the ton of that. But now seeing what they've added, I'm more intrigued in actually playing it.
And going through it.
Yeah. And it might be the first Bethesda game that I actually play from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I get it. People enjoy Skyrim, but I just see so many flaws with that game personally for me that I don't enjoy. But Starfield hit something that I enjoyed a lot more. And I think this update just is going to give what I felt was missing. What that is, I don't know until I play it. And it might not be the game that I expected it to be.
Do you
But
know
apparently,
anything about the New Game Plus to it?
from pre-update,
Well, yeah, pre-update, post-update, because
yeah.
the New
So
Game
I know
Plus, the
that
way. Yep.
it's that you keep going through it, and
Mm-hmm.
decisions that you've made kind of impact
Okay.
the
So yeah,
next
yeah, yeah,
generation
yeah,
of your game that you play.
yeah.
I think they've done something to the patch as well with it.
Okay. So they've enhanced it or improved it.
I believe so.
Okay.
And I believe that now you can upgrade the sci-fi abilities without needing to do New Game Plus
Yeah.
as
So
well.
I saw that now they've added. They basically state in their that recent talk that they did, they noticed that obviously people didn't feel like they were getting the kind of strength or customizing and building the character that they wanted. So I think what they've done, instead of it being a sense of, all right, I do the first run and I go to every single shrine in order to get every single like base level up, like base level ability, and then you do New Game Plus One, where you now go and you go +1 to all of those abilities, and then +2 to all of those abilities. I think now they've just decided, look, we know that you don't want to be going through and finding every single one of these fucking things. So we're just going to make it so that every time you go to these, you can level up that ability that you want by a point. And then you choose what you want to kind of improve. And I thought that's smart. It might break the game in certain aspects, but to be fair, with this DLC as well, they are adding new tiers of weapons as well, with new perks and things that you can customize and change in the actual guns, which I think
Oh,
is, yeah. Have you not seen that part of it?
no.
Yeah, so they go into a little bit of depth with the weapons. So they've added, I think it's like 2 new tiers, and you can now also change and like re-roll some of the very more high level stats. So you can really kind of customize all of this. And on top of this, and I thought this was cool, any of those like really high like level weapons or certain weapons that you really love, you can store it in a specific chest that you can create, and it'll then be brought over to the next playthrough on your New Game Plus.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, so if there are things that you want to keep, because of course when you do New Game Plus, you start from fresh. You don't really have anything other than they give you a handful of weapons and maybe some stuff that might be on your purse. But for the most part, everything is wiped. Whereas this, from what I can tell, seems to bring a bunch of those items. So it can be even resources. Whatever items, I think there's like a max cap for what you can bring.
Mhm.
But if there are specific resources that you want to bring, weapons that you want to bring across, armor that you want to bring across, you can do so.
Huh.
So I thought that was cool. I appreciated that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I
I
enjoyed this game. I think
Mhm.
I don't know if it's necessarily their best, because I've heard arguments for and against. I do enjoy the sci-fi aspect, and overall the questing in this, and along with the gunplay, just felt really good. What I really disliked, though, and I think it put me off from even bothering to spend much time with the game, was more so the exploration on the random generated planets. And I always felt like if they had just added a little bit more depth to what you'd randomly find on the generated planet, like part, like you'd pick a box on a planet and you go, all right, well, I'm gonna land here and I'm gonna start exploring whatever this quadrant is. If they added a little bit more flair to what you could find in those places, that would have been cool, and I think it would have improved it immensely. But they never really did that, and it was always like, well, I'm going through this same facility style building again for the umpteenth time, and I'm collecting the exact same things, and I'm fighting the exact same things, and so you end up just playing the main story and the main story and those side missions, like the actual faction quests, because that's where the gameplay is, and that's where the story is, and you go, cool. Once I've played that, that's it. Why do I need to spend more time doing anything else other than new game plussing it and then going through alternate story lines that you can experience with that? Fun game though. Fun game. It was a fun attempt by them, especially going from more fantasy or Fallout. So they took a chance. I don't think it paid off as well as they hoped, but it's nice to see that they're still trying.
I think one of the issues comes down to it took a decade for it to come out. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a lot of the expectations of, well, if you're going to take 10 years, it really needs to fucking show.
Yeah.
And I don't think it did. And you're right. I'm glad that they're taking focus onto this and going, all right, we are going to put the updates to part of the game so that it runs better. There's things to do.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm. And it looks like they've even fixed some of the space travel, so it doesn't look like you're just teleporting from one quadrant to another, but we'll see.
From what I've read, it's no more loading screen.
Yeah.
And you can actually fly to the landing station.
Yeah.
Which is kind of huge.
Yeah, we'll see. Look, I think it's still loading, but they're just, instead of it just being a static screen, they're probably just putting a proper animation, and they've actually designed it. I mean, the fact that you can now fly past the planet, I think that in itself is huge, because it was always funny that you'd load up into like the atmosphere of the planet and you couldn't fly towards it. It was just a really big PNG file. Yeah, it's just like, for fuck's sake, guys, come on. Like, I don't need this to be like Star Wars, for Christ's sake, fucking does it. The what was that Ubisoft
Outlaws.
one that they made? Yeah, Outlaws. Like, it's not complicated. I'm sure it's not complicated. I get that you don't have an actual world that you've simulated. This isn't No Man's Sky. I get all of that. But there are ways that you can at least make it so it's like, okay, have a sandbox that's in space, and then when you get closer to the planet, let me load in. Like, let it play out like an animation where I'm seeing it land. And whether you use clouds or God knows what to kind of hide the loading screen until I come down to whatever the surface level is, while you deload space and start loading the level layout itself. There are ways to do it. So.
I hate that I keep using this as a reference, but if No Man's Sky can do it, why can't other games?
Different engine, different design.
I get it, but you can do it. It's proven that it can work. Granted,
Yes.
that
Yes.
there's probably systems that Sean has worked on for it to work in a specific way, but from going into space to orbit to planet works. There's no real loading screen between them. It's all in one go. Yes, you're 100% right. Different engine. But if it can exist in another game where
Mm-hmm.
I can fly from the ground into space to another planet that's in the same solar system,
Yep.
sure, there's some realism to. I was about to say Star Wars. For No Man's Sky, that if I go from a moon to a planet, it's going to be shorter because they are closer because the moon is orbiting the planet. But if I go from one planet to another, it's going to take you maybe, depending on your loadout for your ship, it will take you maybe 10 seconds. You want to drift in space and slowly head your way there while you walk around your ship? It will take you 20 minutes. Okay, perfect. Why can't this do the same? This is far
Because
more advanced.
yeah, but it's because of its advanced systems in how it's tracking every single item that is perpetually being able to be memorized and moved in various different locations. So I would imagine if you're theoretically jumping to all the different new random locations that you can generate, and it now has to remember that randomly generated area where things are, and then it goes, okay, well, now we need a file that's also tracking what items have you taken off of it, what haven't you, have you moved something in a different location, so that when we go back we can load all of that. It's probably too much. And then when they're trying to account for it to work on, because again, they are owned by Microsoft, we need to make sure this thing works on a console. And if it can't run on a console because the memory requirements are fucking through the roof, now we've got an issue. And so you start having to figure out, based on your engine, based on what its limitations are, what do we need to change in the underlying code, or what do we need to change throughout the programming so that those extra little details do work. This is such a unique engine, and Todd won't let it go. And I appreciate that he doesn't, because no other game will ever have this level of interactability.
Yeah.
That's just it. No other developer has attempted this level. Some have gotten close, some have played with certain aspects, but not to this level. And not to this scale. So it's still impressive that they're able to do what they can. But I must admit, I think people are starting to get a little bit tired of the loading screens. And there's already been discussion online that most people are like, if the next Elder Scrolls plays exactly the same like the rest of their games do, where I can't just go from building to outside to castle to cave without there being some fucking loading screen, people are gonna flip, because then it just means that, okay, you are literally not doing anything to advance this system. We understand it needs to load and it needs to memorize, but surely there has to be a way for you to track that, okay, I'm about to enter into this cave. What information do what we need to quickly load? Like, how do we compile that information for this cave so that we know what the layout of the cave is? That doesn't change, but it's the layout of where things are, which should be on some sort of file that you've saved somewhere that's accessible and that can be summarized and managed in a way that it quickly loads without taking up too much memory or causing memory leaks or causing memory overloads. I mean, you're talking about a company that has released their games on on PlayStation, where people have to play the game in a meticulous way, because if you move too many things or you do too many things, you break the game and it lags so ridiculously that you can't even play anymore. It's a very fucking unique engine.
I did forget about the individual assets because of all the shit you can pick up. You're right. There is so much more.
If I can go to every single planet and pick up a whole bunch of coconuts and shove them in my space station, and it accounts for all the physics of every single coconut, but then it also remembers where I took those coconuts from, so when I go back to those places, it doesn't have those coconuts. That's a lot of memory bandwidth that the game needs to account for. And if the console isn't designed for, we know that PCs can fudge around, and if you have enough RAM, you can fucking brute force this kind of shit. But when you're trying to release it for a majority of audiences on a console, and it's incapable of doing it, now we have an issue. Now you have an optimization problem, or you got to find little clever ways to go, okay, well, we can't memorize everything, so we got to kind of reset it at some point, where it's like it remembers 10, 15 locations, and then it starts to wipe. But then how do you determine what should be remembered and what gets wiped? Okay, we say your personal spaceship, because you use it all the time, needs to stay permanent. So that's one. And then maybe some of the major locations up to a point. They're a unique company. And that's why we love them.
Company.
That's why we love them. Oh, don't get me wrong. They made some questionable fucking decisions over the last, 8-10 years? Which is why they're going back to Elder Scrolls, because it's kind of a break in case of emergency kind of scenario.
Announced way too soon. And
yep.
I feel comfortable saying this. I don't particularly like Todd Howard. I don't think I get that he has a huge appreciation for the art that he creates, but
yep.
I think he needs to go.
Maybe.
Just my personal opinion.
I don't think you're the first person that's made that statement. And I'm sure you won't be the last. So. Yeah.
So, how was Crimson Desert?
Ah, yes. We finally get to this bad boy, as it were.
Because you said you played a couple of hours.
Yeah, probably played an hour and a half. I've essentially gotten to the open world section where I'm now heading towards the first town. So within that first hour, I can already see things that I kind of go, I like what you're trying to do with this. However, I can also see how you can get in the way. It doesn't play. I think this is going to be and I think a lot of people's issues with the game. It doesn't play like a traditional action game or like a traditional adventure game. So my jump button doesn't actually function like a jump button. It's hard to explain, but it's not like I press jump and I watch the character do the animation. It's almost like you got to press it and then let go for him to do the jump. And then you've got another
Oh.
button. Yeah, and then you've got another button for precise jump. So you can press, I think it's like one of the L buttons, and then you can choose where you want to precise jump to. But then there's things that are locked into the same button prompt. So apparently, I haven't really experienced this, but if you're picking up something, it's the same button as what you would press to jump. And so people are having this issue where they're going up to items and they want to pick it up, but instead they're jumping because they might not be looking at it correctly, or there might be a glitch with the system where it's not recognizing the actual action that you're asking the game to do. So
That's
it
funny.
seems like they're running into the issue of having too many actions and not enough controls, that they're having to like multi use the same control layouts or have these weird control combinations in order to do one action. And it's just, when people are under adrenaline or stressing out about something or having to deal with a boss, and it's like, all right, I want to pull off this, but now I'm pulling off something completely different that's not an attack, but is just me pulling up the sword to go, hey, I'm shining a light in your face. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted something else. It can get really infuriating. On top of that, what I've also heard, not that I've gotten the chance to experience it yet, you cannot skip cutscenes. You can fast forward them. Yeah, you can fast forward them, which just speeds up the animations, but you cannot skip it, which means if there's a boss battle that you're doing and you die to it, you now start at the beginning of the cutscene. It doesn't load you into before or let you choose a different save. So,
Interesting choice.
yeah. Attacking, you
Mhm.
don't, it doesn't, again, not a standard action game. You're not pressing the attack button for the combos. You just hold it, and he does the animations. And then you choose,
Oh.
like, if you hold the standard attack, you'll do the standard combos. If you press the
Mhm.
heavy attack, which you can like switch, you can kind of do some light and then some heavy, and he will go through the animations from light to heavy, or just go through all the animations for heavy, and then you can add on extra abilities on top of that, which I haven't quite gotten into. But if you just tap the action button, he will just do one animation. Like, you have to tap pretty quickly for him to go through the 3 or 4 hit combo, which at that point it's like, okay, this is clearly being programmed. So I hold the button, which is very bizarre. But okay, they've kind of given it that MMO thing where it's, when you're just attacking, you're just pressing this button and then you're switching to other modes of attack or other abilities or other specials or magic or whatever it may be. So yeah, there are choices that they've made that does feel like they've pulled it from an MMO
Okay.
and tried to wiggle it into more of a arcadey action game, while adding all these extra layers and context sensitive things that you can do. And it's really cool. I think the problem is that there's too much. And right now, what's going to be fun, because it's funny seeing the reviews. Like, I've seen IGN's got 6 point something. Most of the other outlets are sitting around that 7.5, with
Mhm.
some people giving it like 9s or 10s, whatever they chosen, because they look at it as it's this amazing work of art, and it's, look at how much content there is, and there's so much personality, and there's all these fun things that you can discover and find. And so I have this feeling that the game is going to go through some growing pains. The developers, if they're smart, will listen to the feedback, which they seem to be on top of, because like the game apparently didn't even release with a personal chest. So you had to store your shit on you at all times. You didn't have a place that you could dump all the various random crap that you can collect. Some of it used for crafting, some of it for just your character, weapons, armor, ammo types, food, all of this. You had limited bag space, and then there was nowhere to store it. So there was talks where they're like, yeah, all these reviewers were talking about the fact that the game was being released with no storage, but they had said that, yeah, we're going to implement it. From what I can tell, that's there. Because when I jumped on and I played it, there was a storage pack. Now, whether that's the one that the developers were talking about, or whether it's something else, I don't know yet. Because I haven't spent much time with it. But what will be fun to see is over the course of the next couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever it may be, I feel like a lot of the issues that players are going to have will slowly start dwindling and will all be figured out. As far as some of the more obtuse systems in relation to puzzles and exploration, I don't think that they're going to change any of that. They're going to make sure that all of that's working so that when you encounter a particular puzzle or a particular boss, it's not breaking on you. But I know some people have had issues getting through certain puzzles that are optional, that are there in the environment, and you have to figure it out. And they don't hold your hand. I think that's cool. And I'm all for that. So there's going to be a real community, theoretically, I feel like there's going to be a real community kind of growth with this, along with the developers getting involved with the community to make sure that is everything working? Are all the systems where they need to be? Do we need to tweak things? What do we need to add so that everyone's on the same page and we're all having a good time with this?
Do you think it's an early access game at its
No.
stage, or do you think it's a very much a completed game?
I think it's a
that just
completed
needs to be
game.
tweaked?
I think that they bit off such a large chunk that there's only so much testing that they can do for the scale that they're doing it. And then again, they've made certain decisions that they thought were the right ones. And then they didn't think about certain things that, all right, maybe are better suited for this type of game. So a lot of it's just learning. Because, I mean, they've been making an MMO. That was their bread and butter. So from what I've heard within the YouTube space, everyone that's got any complaints have been rectified within 24 hours. Whether it's bugs, whether it's issues. So these guys are clearly paying attention to feedback. They're clearly paying attention to issues or concerns. I mean, one YouTuber I was listening to, he was talking about the fact that there was an update that came through. The update caused it so that he couldn't load up the game. So he's notified them on their Discord server, and they said, all right, give us a few hours. And then sure enough, a few hours later, they've messaged back, said, all right, try now. Lo and behold, it worked. There was another update that came through that fixed his specific issue. So these guys working on an MMO know their coding, know their system well enough to know, okay, how do we fix something? What improvements do we need to make? What do we need to add? How quickly can we implement that?
Holy shit, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this game, if people stick with it, mechanically, I think it'll improve in certain aspects. And I think a lot of the bugs and issues will get rectified over time as things are found out. Because again, when we're talking at the scale of this game, and this becomes the other issue, they're only going to have a small sector of people that'll actually explore the wider aspects of the game, which those parts might fall apart because they might not have been tested, unlike, say, the main Golden Path, where that's probably been played to death. And for the most part, that seems to work pretty flawlessly. Yeah, I think it doesn't give me the feeling of an early access game. It just gives me the feeling of this is such a large open world that I don't think any studio would have released it in a pristine level, other than maybe Rockstar. But they've got fuck you money, so
Yeah.
I mean, Rockstar they've delayed their game by a whole year and a half, maybe more. We don't know what their internal kind of trajectory was. So, different studio, different team, different financial expectations. I think it'll do fine. I don't think there's going to be a huge improvement on the story. So some of the criticisms I've heard with the story stuff, I'm like, guys, this is an Eastern developer making something that's a Western kind of tone and feel. I've always known that it was going to be very basic in that sense. It was going to be very cookie cutter, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, Zelda at the core of it is just good guy go be bad guy to save princess. That's it. There's little nuances in there. There's little kind of world building type things that they put in. And I think this game's going to have that as well. I think there's going to be some fun little nuances, fun little in-world universe type lore storytelling. Some of it's going to be fun. Some of it's going to be silly. Some of it's... I'm sure there's going to be a handful of things that are just going to be average shit that have just been thrown in because they wanted to maybe pad out certain elements. But that's what happens when you've got a game of this scale. But everything I'm seeing is most people are really enjoying the variety and the fact that it's not holding people's hands. It is just, we're giving you a large game. It is going to take you time to get through it because we have a lot of systems and we want to make sure that you understand them. So it will take 4 to 6 hours to get through all of that before we kind of let go of the reins. And now the world is your oyster. You know exactly what to do. You know how all the systems work. You know how to take advantage of them, play with them, do whatever you want with them. Have at it. Here's your main quests. Here's your optional shit. See what else is out there.
I think that's one of the issues I have with reviews is that they're only given an X amount of time to play this game and write what they need to in time for them to have the review out.
And most of these people have only had maybe 3 or 4 days, I think. So when you're rushing through it, you're looking at the clock, you've got a deadline, and unfortunately you've come across a bug where now you need to reload an earlier save because this NPC isn't loading, or this boss isn't doing what he needs to, or you can't get through this puzzle because something was broken because you've done something that, again, the developer didn't account for.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember reading about a bug where when you do the first abyss climb, where like you jump on a platform, it takes you up to get one of your first abilities or like your first ability points. And the person didn't do the precise jump. He fell down, he fell off, and it meant that now he was locked from getting that first ability. He was never going to be able to get that because the elevator only goes up. It doesn't come back down. So they never put any, they never, but this was the thing. He also forgot to stand on a specific pressure plate that is designed as your quick travel. So it's kind of like Zelda where you go up to the top of the tower and now you pop the tablet on the tower and now you've got access to that tower so you can just teleport there. this was kind of, I think, the same thing where you're meant to climb up, take the elevator up, do some basic platforming, and then stand on a switch, which is meant to activate the transport capability.
Yeah. Impulsive, you're so funny. Guys, we could have finished BG3 instead of all the app. Are you kidding me? Act 3? No way.
Yeah, if we run through it and just go skip, done. What happened? I don't know. But that was cool.
I made out with the Mind Flare, and now we're winners. We're heroes.
Yeah. Look, I saw the end credits. It counts, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it's got some growing pains to get through, but I reckon this game is going to stand the test of time. I think this is the best example of what Ubisoft could have made years ago and just never bothered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is it going to fulfill everyone's needs? Probably not. Is it exactly like Breath of the Wild? Yes and no. In some aspects, yeah. Look, I think there are elements where you can see the inspiration, but they're doing it in their own very unique fashion, and I think that's cool and refreshing. And I think there's some cool ideas and some refreshing ideas that they're putting in this, and there's a lot that they've tried to jam into this game to make it feel as deep as you can. So yeah, we'll see. Like I'm realistic enough with myself that I know I'm probably never going to finish this game. I'll be impressed if I actually get through it. Even just from let's just do the main story quest. But it's one of those things that I know, okay, does it matter if I do? No, not really, because the story is pretty generic. Like, it does just feel like I'm off starting a journey in some sort of anime. You know, shit's just broken down between these two factions. We get killed off. For some reason, the main character is alive. He doesn't know why. He's kind of questioning it. But okay, I've been saved by this guy from the river. I'm going to go help him out and see if I can find my mates along the way. And maybe reap revenge on the guy who killed all of our team. Sometimes that's all you need, just to start you off on a journey, and then the rest is all right. Well, just like any journey, you start off with a particular quest in mind, and it's what else do you gain from it? What else do you find out there? Who else do you help out in the world, and what other mysteries can you uncover? I think that's golden. So,
do you think the control scheme is something that would be updated?
Dear Lord, I hope so. Because I feel it feels like, yeah, go.
Is it really impactful on almost a detriment of having, you know, instead of fighting, it's just holding a button rather than having that rhythm of pressing it?
Look, some of the combat, and again, I don't know the depth, because I know that when you start getting further into the game and they start unlocking more of the abilities, that's when it becomes more impeding on your general moment-to-moment performance of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of gets in the way, or becomes confusing, and it becomes like I'm having to memorize a fucking psychological manual to understand all the different glossary terms. It's like being a doctor and needing to remember every little individual like part of the procedure and process so that you don't nick a fucking vein while you're doing surgery. Like, it's just, it becomes that level of precision for something that feels like it just should be a standard action game with some cool abilities and interactivity with the world. but they might have just stretched it a little too far. So look, it might be one of those things that they look at and they kind of rework and they go, okay, we think we know what we can do to change it. Or they might just offer it as options within the settings that, all right, for those people that want to play it like a traditional action game, here's the ability to just button mash the attack button. Maybe they won't change it. I don't know. It depends on what is the compromise of having those options changed. And that's tough. At least this early for me, when I don't have that experience. It's all what I've heard. Playing it, though, so far, I'm not a big fan of the jump mechanic, the way it functions. The combat I can work with. The combat's fine. And it's nice that I've got control, kind of like GTA. I've got control over the camera to some degree, although I've heard also mixed opinions about the camera as well. But yeah, for the most part, everything else that I've experienced has been fine. It's just, I hate, like, it, no joke. I'll show it to you when you see me on Wednesday when I stream it, because I'll go through all of that intro again, just because it's not long. But it took me 5 to 7 minutes to figure out, oh, this is like a jump when I let go, not a jump. Like, I'm pressing the jump button and he's not moving. But then for some reason, at times, he would suddenly do certain jumps. And I'm like, well, he's not, this isn't consistent. What the fuck's going on? And I realized, oh, it's like a press and hold and let go for him to jump. Or I got to press another button, hold that, and then press where I jump, because now it's like he's in aim mode. And this was the other weird thing. So you start the game, you're in your little camp. How you doing, Zesty Cheesecake?
Happy Saturday. Hope you've been enjoying BG3. I've been meaning to replay it at some point. Oh, it's great. We're finally in Act 3.
Woohoo! There's you've got the camp at the very beginning, and you can go around, and the game asks you go around and talk to all the various people, and then head inside the little shack. And you've got the button that you press. It's like it changes it from just being a third-person action to now you're like aiming, and it's like he's pointing, right? So then you can go up to people and you can talk to them, but the prompt is the same as kicking.
Oh, you've been kicking people?
Well, I accidentally kicked a person because, again, it picked up, for some reason, I wasn't close enough to pick up to change the prompt from kick to talk. And so I ended up kicking the guy before then going, wait, no, I got to press it differently in order to talk to him first. So it's little things like that where it's just like, ooh, I don't know how to feel about this, because they should be on separate buttons, and maybe there's a way that you can kind of go, okay, when I activate this mode, now I have these actions, and then when I activate this mode, I have these actions. And I've seen that done before in a little game called Little Big Adventure, where you had 5 character instances, and depending on what instance you change to will determine what the keys do for the character.
Oh, okay.
So if you just had it on normal, then he would just walk around, you could interact with things, you could talk to people, everything was fine. If you had it on
into a fight mode, then he would enter combat.
Now it would be combat. So now, and you would see the animation change. So normally he would just be standing up straight. Athletic, he's now kind of hopping. And he's got like this, like he's jumping and hopping. And so when you press the action button, he's now full ball. He can run into things. He can jump. He can do all the athletic things. If you go and change it to combat, he's kind of got this like drunken style like movement, and then you press the action button and he's now attacking. you change his stance, his state into stealth, and now he's okay, got this like slow methodical movement. So if I press a button, he now goes into stealth, and now I can move him slowly, or I can have him duck, or I can do all kinds of fun little things like that. So yeah, it's almost like it needs that system just cleaned up.
Okay.
But
I imagine we'll start seeing more updates that will introduce quality of life features like that.
I would say so. I would say that they would add quality of life. They will probably add some level of customization for button layouts. Like there was something weird I was experiencing when I was trying to turn off the game, and I'm pressing the select button, but for some reason it just kept opening the map. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong? And then I somehow managed to load it up so it had the menu. But the menu was weird because it had like all the menu options were like 1001, 2001, 3001, 40. I was like, what is going? It's just there's weird decisions, weird choices that just need a level of polish and some extra feedback from the community so that everyone's like, it just works. Beautiful. I know what we're doing. I know how we're doing this. Let's go. And then you can just play the game.
I'm always shook when games don't have proper button programming in this day and age. I've had to download mods or programs for some games to reprogram button mapping. Yeah. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure Crimson Desert is advised to play on controller.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like it's such a keyboard and mouse layout with so many different things.
Yep.
And they're more accustomed to creating an MMO, which is, I'm pretty sure, just on PC. I don't think Black Desert is available on console.
Not to my knowledge, anyway.
So I guess there's that thought of, well, how can we get so many things on one controller that has X amount of buttons on there? But
It's
again, you brought a good point. Why not have different instances? So if you unsheath your sword, then you're in combat mode. Sheath it, then you're not. Have a proper jump button. And I mean, press the thumbsticks to activate something. Controllers at a standard now have extra buttons on the back. Utilize the controller.
Yeah. There are ways to do it. And like I said,
100%.
it's just, they just got to get through that growing pain with it. And once they do, it'll be fine. But in its current state, so like, and this is what was fun for me. So when I loaded it up last night and I'm looking at Steam, it was at mixed. Now, today, when I woke up this morning, I don't know what it is now, but today when I woke up, it was mostly positive. So there's
It's
clearly
still
more.
mostly positive.
Yeah. So there are clearly how many reviews? What's the? Is it still 8,000?
12,460.
So and it's gone up. So as people will buy it, because I'm sure some people are probably skeptical and sitting there going, I don't know if I want to buy this yet. Maybe I'll wait a week and see what improvements or what changes. So some people will probably buy it. Other people will not want to take the chance, and that's fine. It is what it is. But I reckon over the next 6 months, this game's going to be substantially improved from when it first came out, because they are committed to making sure that it's got a life to it. Like, they want this game to be successful. It sucks that they've lost a share portfolio, like they've lost shares, like their shares have dropped, but provided the studio doesn't like the investors don't completely fucking jump off the bridge with it, I think it'll do fine. Like I know now it's never going to be able to compete with GTA from a renowned status, but I think it'll get pretty fucking close. Like it I have more faith in this potentially being an RPG of the year over, say, um what's it called? Fable. Because the only thing that I think Fable is going to have going for it is, all right, some of the social systems and then the story, depending on how that all comes together. That's about it.
Because Fable's going to focus a lot more on the interactive portion of the game.
Yeah.
That's right.
But like everything I've seen of Fable from a interactivity with combat and gameplay, like I never had that. So far from what I've seen, I haven't seen dungeons or spaces that feel like they are unique places that I can go through and platform, and some places will be these puzzle sections and other places will be combat and puzzle, or it'll be all combat. I don't get that feeling from Fable, but I get that from this. And it just depends on, well, what type of game do you want? Do you want something that's got a lot of meat on the bone that'll take its time but will give you a lot of variations? Or do you want a more tailor-made Western style of experience? That's really up to you.
I think we've got good things to come from Crimson Desert.
So yeah.
Interesting.
And I will say,
Hmm.
I know that you're concerned about the De Novo, but from what I've heard, you're not going to have the performance issues I think you assume you're going to have.
On a 2070 Ti.
Yeah. Look, if you choose to wait till it's on sale.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not paying 110.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Look, and it might even behoove you to do that, considering the state it's in currently. It might work out better to go, okay, if I wait, then at least I know when I'm playing it, it'll be less buggy. Maybe they will have rectified some of those systems. They will have added different options in the settings so that I can play it in a very specific way that I want to play it. And you'll have a better time for it. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. That's good.
You're surprised at what, like how fun it
The
is?
De Novo
or-
doesn't really have an impact.
Well, look, again, I mean, I've played it on my laptop, which technically is a weaker system compared to my desktop. It is running a 40 series, but it's a 4070. Yeah, I haven't had any personal issues. In this day and age, it can pay off to wait and buy some games, though I also still impulsively buy games from time to time. And there's nothing wrong with buying impulsively. As long as, if you can afford it and you're happy to take the risk. I mean, I bought impulsively with Star Wars Outlaws. That was a bad purchase on my part. I'll never fucking do that again. Sometimes you live and you learn. And sometimes it's like you're so convinced that you lie to yourself that maybe there's something here that people aren't seeing. And then you experience it and you go, fuck, they were right. That sucks. I will begrudgingly go through this fucking game just to say that I've at least gotten my value out of it. Even though you shouldn't have even given up your time to it in the fucking first place, but you know.
Well, that's an interesting game within itself. But
Star
I think,
Wars.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it ended up doing well once it stopped trying to be a game that it wasn't meant to be. And they fixed a lot of issues. Am I still reluctant to spend $30 on it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but they didn't really, like, they fixed certain issues. They got it to where it sort of should have been. But it's not like they've added or implemented other stuff in there that really it should organically have. And that's what sucks. As a Pokemon lover, ZA dropped the ball so damn hard. It's absurd garbage, to be honest. However, Pokopia is actually good. Legends Arceus was 10 times better than ZA. Yeah. God. We know that
And
feeling all too well.
And I'm the person who actually loves ZA. I think that was a really fun game. I treated it more as a Pokemon Coliseum game because it focused so much more on the combat side of things.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that Game Freak or Pokemon Company decided to try something different to what they've been doing. And I love that the Legend series has allowed them to really try different things. Don't get me wrong, Legends Arceus, whew, stunning game. Stunning. And it was such a good risk for them, even though when we think about it as consumers, it's not a fucking risk. We've seen games like that before. Am I looking for Winds and Waves because it's going through more of a traditional style? 100%. Absolutely. Am I playing Fire Red and Leaf Green? Yes, because of the nostalgia. And I've got access to new things. And I love Pokemon too. I love Pokemon. Pokepia, when you trust a third party with your IP, it's fucking worth it. I won't judge you for that, but I could not handle the lack of environment and being stuck in one city. Oh, I loved being in the city. And the music wasn't as good as some of the last few games. I like the music too. If there were more biomes, I think I would have been more happy. The battle system is better than in many other ways compared to Arceus. I was hoping Winds and Waves is better than the last few games. I'm a city guy. I love being in the city. For me, that was not so much of an issue. And the environment zones, they gave me enough of the fucking different biomes that I can go, you know what? This is accurate to what Pokemon do. If ice Pokemon move here, it's going to be icy. At the graveyard, there's going to be ghost Pokemon. The grassy area, you're going to find more of your grass and normal types. I liked the way that they integrated it. And again, for me, it's cool. I'm going through the Battle Royale. I need to get specific Pokemon. So they're enhancing the Colosseum style where we've refined it. So now it's all real-time fighting. And that's your main crux of the game rather than crafting your own Pokeballs and potions to get by and survive. that worked for past. For this, I enjoyed it because you're almost just, okay, which team do I want to take in? And once you start getting some of the legendaries, the game just breaks because then you're so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
But I also kind of like that. What were you going to say? Sorry?
No, I mean, if you want a tight, enclosed city space, all you need to do is look at Yakuza that managed to pull off the, hey, we're just going to set it in one location, give you one type of mechanic with a bunch of other mini games associated alongside it. It just works. Sometimes being in one space can be a really good thing because you can just hone in on the space that you're exploring and make it all feel more alive, as opposed to giving you various biomes that you have to now spread the content out and add a certain level of variety and mixture, which they both have their place.
Yeah. Even Sleeping Dogs. That felt really tight, but quite large. It made it feel bigger than what it actually was.
It annoys me. Go on. It annoys me that we never got a proper sequel, that they decided after the relative success of the fucking of that game, which was technically it was a spin-off game from LA, not LA Noir, LA Cops. There was like a where you played as a police officer series, True Crimes. It was a spin-off of True Crimes. And fuck me, they did such a good job. They had the Batman mechanics with the open world setting, with the investigation that felt like these, classic Chinese films. And instead of just going, all right, well, we did really well here, let's make not necessarily a direct sequel, but tell a new story in maybe a different location, continuing within this franchise. No, they tried to make this fucking multiplayer game. It's like, what the fuck? Just implement and improve upon what you had. Don't suddenly reach for the stars. Like, fucking hell. They screwed themselves. I think their publisher also fucked them over, but yeah. It's sad. It's sad because I never got to see a sequel to that game, and the closest thing that I have to that feeling of combat is Sifu, and Sifu annoys me on a different level because of its roguelite design. Like, fucking hell. Anyway.
Oh, of course, because that game you die and then come back.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you die and come back older. So you do more damage, but you're actually weaker in health. So the older you get, you become more and more of a glass cannon. It's like, okay, I can, hit you really fucking hard because I'm really efficient with my punches, but I'm dead. The fuck, man. Anyway.
Gosh. Yes. Any other games? Or just leave it at that?
That was, I'm happy to leave it at that. I think that's basically all I want to cover. Yeah. Fucking hell, we did well.
A lot. It's funny. I always worry that there's some weeks that there's nothing happening. But fuck, we talk.
Look, we're going to have weeks like that. And I'm sure if there are weeks like that, we can just find a topic that we can discuss, something that we're interested in, something that bothers us or interests us. But we are only at the start of the year, and we're slowly gearing up to announcements for the Summer Games Fest that Keighley usually has around June. I mean, I didn't even speak about the fact that they just dropped a teaser trailer for Exodus, which you're playing Mass Effect right now. Exodus is theoretically going to be the spiritual sequel, and if they nail that, might be a fun game for both of us to jump into afterwards.
Huh. Sometimes it's easy to be on yapping hours. Oftentimes, when me and my friends get in Discord chats and I join in on games while they're streaming, we can yap all day.
That's half the fun.
That's the best. I love Mass Effect. I've started playing Mass Effect on
StreetRat has
Wednesdays.
just started, so he's experiencing it for the first time. I have gone through it 2 or 3 times now. So, but I'm excited for Exodus because I want to see how this game comes together. And I hope they nail it. I really do.
Who's making it?
It's a new studio, but it's being led by, I think I want to say Casey Hudson, one of the original Mass Effect heads. Exodus. My concern is they're being produced by, I think it's Wizards of the Coast.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I am concerned at what input they have. Yeah, so published by Wizards of the Coast. Sorry, Drew Carp. Oh. They've got
That's
Drew
crazy.
Karpyshyn.
My first
No
time
fucking
playing
way.
while I was a teen. I'm 30 now. Wish I could play again for the first time.
So Chris
Well,
King,
you can watch this 30-year-old play it for the first time.
James Olin, Chad Robertson. It's got Drew Karpyshyn. Drew Karpyshyn was one of the major writers for Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh.
And I think he was also part of the Mass Effect team. Yeah, Mass Effect 1 and 2. I think Drew would have been part of writing the Bible side of the games.
Yep.
But yeah, his work spans all the way back to Baldur's Gate 1, 2, Neverwinter Nights, Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic 1, Mass Effect 1, 2, Anthem. He apparently had some work in that. But yes, now we're getting something a little bit newer, which is exciting. Oh, this is the other. This is the guy. Drew's the guy that wrote the Darth Bane books, which I fucking love. I never finished reading the third one though. So wonderful, wonderful story writer and world builder.
Right. So they're going to be very strong titles.
We hope.
A very strong game.
Yep.
Exodus.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. How much involvement he's going to have, that's yet to be determined.
Fuck.
Yeah. Archetype Entertainment. That's the name of this new studio. So. Yeah.
Archetype.
Yeah, and like if you see, I'll just quickly show you before we finish up for the night. Where's my desktop? Bump, bump. So it's very Mass Effect-y. Like, they've obviously changed some of the layouts. You don't have the big circle. It's all the way here at the bottom for your character select. You've got your abilities all and your ammo and stuff associated here, but it's still a cover-based shooter. You're dealing with, I'm assuming, yeah, so you've got your shield that you got to deal with, which will be very specific kind of weapons and abilities that you would want to use for that. Health. There you go, the slow motion, jumping in and choosing what weapon you want. And then this is kind of the exploration, which is a bit more linear and structured. So, yeah, it's looking like a fun game. And the premise is going to be cool. Because they're playing, imagine the storytelling in, what is that Nolan film? Fuck, the sci-fi one.
Interstellar?
Imagine the kind of the lore, the laws of physics in Interstellar, and like the basics of the storytelling, but in a video game form. So these characters, as they're traveling through light speed from one location to another, time is passing where they're leaving. Because again, it's based on physics. So that when you come back to a place that you haven't been to, yes. So now it might be, you might see the next generation because the older generation died. It might be multiple generations.
Huh.
Yeah. So the concept of this is so fucking enticing. I'm just concerned because what they've shown in their teasers with Matthew McConaughey and some other stuff was very emotionally impactful. Whether it pulls that off during the gameplay, I don't know. I hope it does. But we'll see. Anyway, we'll call it there. Street Rat, where can we find your content? Where can we find more of you?
You can find me on Twitch at StreetRat_Atlas. I go live on Wednesdays. I am starting my playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy. And on Saturdays, streaming with yourself, playing cooperative games. And at this stage, Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate! Up to Act 3, so we're having fun with that.
Where can we find you, Jake?
As for myself, you can find me on Wednesdays at 7:30 Australian, what's that? Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, daylight savings is ending soon.
Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a shift there. That's going to be fun. But yes, you can find me there. I'll be streaming Crimson Desert, starting my journey through that, which will be fun.
I'm excited.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Anyone that wants to follow, like, and subscribe, I've got my YouTube channel as well. If you want, you can jump on at Jake_Starvik on Twitch and on YouTube. And of course, as Street Rat mentioned, we will be doing Baldur's Gate next week, same time, 7:30. Usually we technically start it at around 8:30. So if you don't want the kind of catch-up chat, you can jump in at 8:30 and watch us play the game. If you want the full show with us talking about what we're playing through the week and what we've been doing, we started at 7:30. So you can catch us on our corresponding channels. Have a wonderful, safe time. This dystopian hellscape of a land. Oh, you poor fuckers in the US. What is Trump doing, man? Can he just put his penis back in the zipper? Just settle down, dude. We get it. We know that you want to bring America back into the old days. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, man. Pandora's out. Just let it go. Move with the times. Do what you can. Anyway, I'm not a politician. Not my place. Have a wonderful, safe time, everyone. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. We love you all. See ya.
Bye.